Yo, 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 yo. We back at it again. We got a great show for this evening. My name is RKY. We got Leroy Green. We got Super Duper in the building. What's up, fellas?
What's really
What's
good?
good?
What's happening?
Man,
What's up?
we cooking it up on a Thursday. Wednesday we kind of got delayed a little bit. I had some things going on. But we got to get this show in today because our guy Super's about to hit the road. He gonna be in a city. We ain't gonna disclose the locations because you got some haters out here. But he gonna be around the country, rolling around, doing what he do, putting that work in. So he had to get it in. Leroy had to get it in. So we're gonna talk about a lot of different things tonight. We got the roots. We're gonna unpack their albums, the songs on their albums. We're gonna kind of unpack that a little bit. And
Of
then we want to
course.
shine some light. Super wants to shine some light. He's been hitting me for a while on this topic. We've been kind of putting this topic at bay. If you've heard the show, if you've seen him on the show, a lots of times he's been saying this. If y'all been peeping and checking the knowledge and peeping the knowledge, he's been saying Prodigy is that guy. And his catalog as a solo MC has been vastly underrated. So tonight we're gonna talk about Prodigy. But man, so we got Prodigy, we got the roots. We're gonna talk about 50 a little bit. Westside Gunn's got some new work coming out, and we gotta talk about this Kendrick Lamar. So we was going to delay it because everybody's been talking about it, but we was talking off air, and I said, "Hell, let's just jump right into it." So let's talk
Let's
about
do
it,
it.
fellas. Let's talk about it, fellas. Who wants to go first? Well, Super, go first because you've been holding
You
it
know
in
what?
for a
I'm
minute.
gonna let Leroy go first because I know he gonna come
Okay.
with the same thing that we've been hearing all week about the performance. So
A
now,
little different. A little different. I do have a breakdown. You sure you want me to go first?
yeah, go
On
ahead, go
Prodigy?
ahead.
Don't take an
Okay.
hour, Leroy. Don't take an hour, man.
Okay. Give me. Y'all give me a time limit. Give me the time limit. You know what I
When I
mean?
put my fist up, it's wrap it up.
Okay.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
All
All right.
right. All right. Okay, so we've all been watching the breakdowns. I'm not mad at the breakdowns. I'm not mad at the people that don't like it, except for that actor. What's that actor's name? John Duvey or whatever. He was in Die Hard. I'm mad at him. But the white folks that have an issue with it or calling us out our name and stuff, that's fine. Um, if you don't like it, that's cool. You know what I mean? Because you have your expectation of what the performance should be. Right now, the most watched performance ever. You know what I mean? But I just want to break some things down to because we talk about the arts, man. I'm a artist guy first. So a lot of times we talk about the culture and I talk about double entendres, but double entendres is not just words. It's sight. Do you have the ability to see two things going on at once? If we do not have that ability, this culture is going to collapse. We need to have the ability to see two things at once. You got the culture and the business clashing, and Kendrick is in the middle, or artists are in the middle, right? I'm watching the clock. I'll give myself, 10 minutes or so, but or
10 minutes.
whatever. Five. I'll break it down to five. It's all good. Okay, so Kendrick is in the middle, right? Business and art. So, but there's a history to the music as well, right? This music that we're doing, it started 400 years ago in gospel on the in the churches and on plantations. There's a performance aspect there. When as a black artist in front of a crowd of white people, you need to understand how to do two things at once. Because literally in them old spirituals, they were singing to gain the approval of the white audience there, but they were also sending coded messages about when they were going to escape, how they were going to fight, where they were going to go, and whatnot. So these we've always sent two messages at once for centuries. Then you go into blues music, right? Blues music was a thing until people started to make it kind of a caricature, for lack of a better term, but they started to take it as if it was a joke. And lyrically and performative wise, I'm talking about, white folks got a hold of it. They started to do their thing. So we abandoned that and it became rock. Then later on, they was like, well, y'all ain't really sophisticated. You know what I mean? First it was we didn't have no soul. So we'll give you gospel. We proved it and we have soul. Then it was, oh, well, y'all ain't got no good instrumentation. So out of the blues, then we give them jazz. We give them super refined music that is refined to the highest level of anything you can do with an instrument. So then they're like, oh, okay, well, y'all refined, but you're not. you're not doing this or you're not doing that. We give you R&B. We damn near singing these women's panties off every time we hit the stage around the country. So clearly, we got the rhythm and the blues. Now you get to hip hop. Hip hop is going to stand its ground. It's not, once we lose a resistance edge, we abandon it. It's not that we abandon, because that's not real to us. It always has had a resistance in the music. So someone like Drake is the same red flag that we've been seeing for a long time. You know what I mean? And that's not, it don't have to be Drake's fault, but there are certain flags there. Okay, so now it starts. So Kendrick comes out. I'll give myself a few more minutes. Kendrick comes out. His job, he got to uplift some type of blackness or lesson or history that makes white people smile. That's his job. Now that the complexities in doing that is ridiculous, especially when you got to keep it real because you're in a sonic war with other artists, and at the same time you offer something redemptive and that's acceptable to society, that's thinking this black patriotism. Do y'all see the layers that one brain has to go through is ridiculous. Not only that, you got the president Caesar in the Colosseum, right? The power right there in front of you, and it is us, hip hop versus the power. If you align with the power, cool. If you align with the people, hip hop, cool. You got to pick a choice. The New Orleans comes with its own history. Katrina was there. There's already the Kaepernick, Jay-Z negotiating with the NFL. That already brung up a whole bunch of things. So Kendrick is already having to psychologically deal with a lot. You know what I mean? I just want to set the stage. Now I could break down the show itself. I know that y'all have saw that. You have saw the whole thing, but just in one sentence, it's about seeing two things in once at one time. That's it. Like, I'm trying to entertain, yes, because I got to make sure these white folks is happy, right? Historically, they like to see us happy. We're happy, we're singing and we're colored. There's psychologically something to that, because you're making them feel like it's okay to have the mindset towards you that they have. But then within that, we're sending messages to each other like, yo, this fight ain't over. This fight is not over. So that's why you see them coming out, squabble up.
Hey, Super, before you go, because I know you about to cook. I gotta let me be the bridge to you, because I know where you going with it. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna lead Super the way he need to go. I'm gonna give my thoughts really quick. 2 seconds. All right. So I want to push back on something you said, Leroy. Have you ever been to a Public Enemy show?
No, I have not.
Okay, so if you've been to a Public Enemy show, I've been to a Public Enemy show. The crowd doesn't look. Most of the crowd doesn't look like us. So when you say that resistance music, they just want to see us dance and sing and dance. I would counter that point, because some of our resistance music, like a Root show, I've been to a Root show, I've been to a Public Enemy show. I've seen quote unquote resistance music being enjoyed by people that don't look like us. So that's point number one. Point number two, I want to say I thought the show was well executed, right? I thought from a theatrical perspective, from a stage management perspective, the sequencing of the songs, he went out there and did what he needed to do as an artist, right? He stayed true to himself. So I don't knock him for that. But there's also other arguments that says the Super Bowl is supposed to be a spectacle. It's supposed to be fun. You got to have bangers. You got to be able to enjoy it. And the other argument is, why do we as, artists or people want to see our pain and our oppression on display while others are having fun? Can it be a balance where you can have somebody out there that performs, gives us the bangers, and we could just enjoy it? Because we got the message, right? So we received the message. We understood we understood the breakdowns and the decoded messaging of it. What's the purpose of it? Who did it serve? If it was for other people to get it, if they largely rejected it, did it accomplish its mission? But again, I didn't. The performance was dope. I thought it was a solid performance. I just thought that it just didn't. It just wasn't big enough for me as far as like the bangers. I mean, that's okay. He stayed true to himself, and I get it. He's not that type of artist. But I'm gonna pass it to Super to let him.
Hold on. Let me answer you.
Okay.
Let me answer you. Just respectfully, but yes, anytime you're going on a nationwide kind of tour thing, or just anytime you become huge, your audience will be mostly white people. So we'll get that clear. Yes, the youth among them like our music, and it's to a point. Now, that entertaining thing is a factor. They want to make sure you're happy. That's what they're there to see. Make sure these black people are happy, because if you're not happy, that's a different energy. So you're proving to them that you're happy. So I'm okay with that. But are we really actually happy? My thing is, I'm trying to get to the point to where we're actually happy for real. We're not faking being happy, but we actually have achieved so much that we're happy for real.
And Super,
That's
before
what
you
I'm
cook,
saying.
the last question I have, and Super, you cook it. You don't have to answer this, Leroy. Come back to this.
Yeah.
Is the expression of our pain and struggle an artistic crutch because you have no hits? But go ahead, Super. Go ahead, Super.
Okay.
I listen. I want to start off by giving Kendrick his props. Like everybody else, I enjoyed the show. I got the message. I'm not slow. Like Kendrick. Kendrick said the audience is not slow, but everybody sure is acting like everybody is slow all of a sudden, and like people don't understand the imagery, and now we giving all these exquisite breakdowns of something that was obvious if you part of the culture. That's one thing. But I want to start off, like I said, I want to start off by saying, like I said, shout out to Kendrick. Great show, great performance. But you know, if people were unsatisfied with the show and unsatisfied with the song list, we don't need all these extravagant breakdowns on why it was great. Like I think that's like it's crazy that we doing this for Kendrick Lamar. I don't think any other artist will get this type of benefit of
Break.
the doubt. Like any other artist that would have performed on that stage, if they came up there and they didn't perform their hit records, or if they had a show that people felt was mid, we wouldn't have these, oh, but it was genius and the imagery was genius. And we wouldn't have these type of breakdowns. I think that we getting into a dangerous place with Kendrick Lamar where no matter what that he does, there's going to be some type of genius explanation behind why either the music ain't hitting, why either the performance ain't what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And like at some point, we just got to be able to keep it real. That's my first point. The second point is this: if this was supposed to be a cultural moment, all these breakdowns that I'm seeing on the internet has to be the most uncultural shit I've ever seen. Like now we breaking down the images and breaking this down. Are we breaking this down for each other, or are we breaking this down for the white people? You know what I'm saying? I think that we all get it. Like we got to quit acting like every time Kendrick Lamar comes out and makes a move that he's the Riddler sitting back with some type of extravagant deep plan and meaning behind everything that he does. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I respect the message. I seen the message. I think it was pretty obvious. All of these explanations on the internet is the lamest shit I ever seen before ever and shit. Like I don't know who they doing it for. Who don't get it? You know what I'm
The
saying?
young, the young and the
I
old
think that it's
don't
just
get
an
it.
excuse. If people saying that they don't like the set list and they didn't like the songs that he chose, and that another thing, this is my third reason that I'm saying, if I feel like for the Super Bowl, for this to be Kendrick's Super Bowl moment, I feel like he basically shared that shit with Drake. He basically shared half of his Super Bowl time dissing Drake. And for the moment and for the year that he had, yes, he definitely should have did Not Like Us. He could have did turn the TV off. But doing Pickaboo, doing Euphoria, like I can't think of like a couple of the other songs, but I know it's one other song that he did that was just, it was a little bit overkill for the
Humble
moment. You
DNA.
know what I mean? And yeah, he should have did Humble. He should have did DNA. But
Right.
the
Wobble
the
up.
man at the garden was unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like I think that he focused too much. And this is just me as I'm not gonna say I'm a Kendrick fan, but somebody that roots for Kendrick. I think that he gave his Super Bowl moment away. And anybody that's looking at it as just strictly a Super Bowl moment and they want to judge it just off of Super Bowl moments and performances. I'm not mad at anybody that say that it was trash if they want to say it was trash. Even though personally I don't think it was trash. I get the messaging. I like the way that Kendrick performed. You know what I mean? I like the way, you know, he's one of the best live performers that you're gonna see out there. His mic
Right.
performances live and in front of a crowd is great. You know what I mean? Like the things that it's a lot of images. Like I said, the shit is great. But for people to downplay the problems that people have with the show by trying to call everybody dumb, I think it's disingenuous to the
I
fans.
wouldn't
You know
I
what I'm
wouldn't
saying?
call people dumb. I wouldn't call people dumb.
But
For
that's what
some,
everybody doing. Everybody
Hey,
acting
hey,
like you're not
I'm not gonna
intelligent
do
or
it.
hey, Leroy,
you know what I mean? Like if,
before you cook, I got 2 questions. I think Leroy, you can take these questions I got. All right. So the question
Okay.
is, I see somebody say it's the most watched Super Bowl by the numbers in history, right? But I think,
Mhm.
you know, how is that padded because people are watching on mobile devices, YouTube? Is it, you know, does it take into account the new
With
ways
technology, yeah.
people consume media? So
Yeah.
that's one caveat. And the second, I mean, hearing a lot of things like it was for the culture, and Bomani Jones talked about this on his podcast. It was for the culture. It was for the culture. Okay, my
Mhm.
question is, how to, you know, who defines the culture, and can the culture also include people like me who just want to see some bangers and enjoy a football game, and that liked the performance and thought it was cool, but wasn't particularly moved by it or wowed by it. I got the message, but can the culture exist of two people? The one that wants to see deeper meanings and are wowed by that, or and the other side of the culture that just want to just enjoy the game and hear some. To see DMX or somebody perform at the halftime, just hear some bangers. And can two exist
Oh,
within the
here's the
culture?
thing. Here's the thing. For somebody like me, now if I criticize the culture or my people, you have to understand that I am of you and I love the culture and my people. So if I criticize, we have to know where this coming from, right? Because I question if we even know what culture is and can we define it. Because culture is way of life, meaning when you wake up in the morning, you have a set list of things you must do, which defines your culture. So let's just be clear on what culture is. It's not vague.
I
It's
I think
specific.
I
Now,
think like I said,
second part.
go
I'm
ahead,
gonna let
Leroy.
you go. I'm gonna let you go just after this 1 second part. I want to go fight. I want to pick a fight, right? So my question is: are my people gonna be behind me if because I want to go have a fight. Now, if you don't want to go have a fight, now what I mean is, I want to have a politically philosophical fight. It does not have to be literal. It does not have to be violent based. It does not have to be bloody. But I want to go pick a fight. Now, are my people when I say okay, the 40 acres and a mule, I want that because I feel my people deserve it. So I'm gonna go pick a fight. Are you coming with me? Are you staying home? If you're staying home, I got no issue with you. I can't ask you to jump into a fight that I'm going to pick. But my thing
I just
about it
want
is,
I want to ask you this question, Leroy. And like I said, I you know I respect your breakdown and I respect everybody's breakdown. I get it. I think I
yeah,
don't know. You know, I didn't need a breakdown to understand it, but I just want to know this. You know,
mm-hmm,
we calling Kendrick a genius and we giving him props because he didn't perform his hits at the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Are we doing this for everybody else now? Are we said like are we
we
gonna
should,
pretend that everybody else is a genius that decides to not perform their hits at the
we should,
Super Bowl or everybody that decides to downplay their show to send a
we should,
message? Are we giving everybody that type of artistic benefit of the doubt? I don't think so. And
Let me
we should,
I think that it's lame that it's like we're gonna create a monster with this Kendrick thing. Like I said, I think that
we
we're
should
going
create a
too
monster.
far. We're going a little bit too far with every explanation of every move that this guy makes. Every time he do
It should
something,
be complex. You should be complex.
but it's not complex.
If
That's the thing.
it
That
should be, we're too
it's
far
not really
gone. We're too
complex.
far
Who is
gone.
it complex to?
Let me get to the
Like
super
If we
chat.
like
Let
want
me
it,
get let me get
I
to the super chats
understand
real
that
quick. Let me get to
everybody
the
wants
super
to
chats real
party.
quick, Leroy. Let me get to the super chats real quick, and then you
Yeah.
can go, Leroy. The super chats real quick. We got Hold on one second. Let me pull the super chats up, and then let Leroy go and answer that question. We got super chat from Vocabulary. Do you think Wayne could have done a better show? Personally, I don't.
No,
Uh,
of
depending on
course
what you're
not.
looking for. If you're looking for like a well put together, crafted show with elements of a different imagery and messaging, I don't think Wayne could have accomplished that. But if you were to talk about hits and bringing out Cash Money and maybe No Limit, it depends on what you're looking for. But I don't think the way I think Kendrick executed a well show, a well choreographed and staged and managed show, So it's depending on what you're looking for is the question. I'll answer that question like that.
I mean, I will say this. I think that it depends on what you like you said, depending on what you're looking for. I think that for the people that was at the looking forward to a Super Bowl halftime show, I think that people probably would have been more satisfied with the entertainment level that Wayne would have put on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, minus the messaging or whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm not, the messaging is neither here nor there for me. I'm not really giving him major props or not taking away or giving him anything for putting on messaging at the Super Bowl and not performing his hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not giving him props for that. I said, I respect what he did. I respect the show that he did put on, but I respect the pushback that people have on the show in general. And
I
like
don't
I said,
respect that.
and for everybody, for people that saying that they didn't like him performing Pickaboo, they thought he picked the wrong songs. That's the audience. This is not a knock on Kendrick Lamar himself. This is just what people saying. Go ahead.
Two things, right? At the people giving Kendrick pushback. At what point do you see who Kendrick is fighting? Do you know that Kendrick has an enemy? Now, if you don't know, that's fine. But you should be able to figure out that Kendrick has an enemy. So that's who he's.
Bro, if we're gonna give him that excuse, if we're gonna give him if we're gonna give him that excuse, he shouldn't have been there to perform. I mean, like to come there and perform.
He should be there. It's the most watched halftime ever. He should be there.
Yeah, so satisfy your fan base. Satisfy your fan base as well.
Y'all don't want to fight. Y'all don't want to, not you, but a lot of our people don't want to fight. You want to sit back and have fun. I understand. But a lot of us don't want to, we don't want to sit back and have fun. We want to go.
I think two things can be right at the same time.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell, not you something specifically, but the people, let me tell y'all something. I want y'all to go have parties and celebrate all the time. But I have to supply a reason. Why are you celebrating all the time? What victories are we winning? My job is to win victories. I'm thinking as an artist now. So when I go back to my people, it's like, yeah, we won this, we're building that, we're doing this, we're saving this, and we're repairing this. So when you celebrate, it's not pointless celebration. It has to be victory based. Like when I tell the youth, they say, oh, we don't want to work hard. We don't want to build nothing. We don't want to learn nothing. We just want to drive Lamborghinis and live in mansions. Well, I try to tell them, you can get that. You can get Lamborghinis and mansions and jewelry. Trust me, you have the time to get that, but you got to do some work though. You cannot skip the work and then celebrate for nothing. Kendrick's job is to defeat an enemy. So we have a reason to celebrate, or else we're celebrating for nothing. And second, again, I don't think we understand what culture is, because if I ask everybody in the chat, what is culture? You're supposed to be able to go, culture is A, B, C, D, E. You ain't supposed to even be able to think about it. It's supposed to be exact. Because culture is, like I said, man,
I think that all of this talk around all of this is overblowing the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I get it. I understand the messaging. He could have got the messaging across and performed other songs that people would have liked, and maybe people wouldn't be saying what they're saying. I just think that, like I said, my knock is not on Kendrick at all. I'm satisfied with the performance. I like the performance. I think it was fine what he did. But I don't have a problem with other people saying what they saying, and I don't think everybody just dumb as hell and slow and didn't read and didn't understand the imagery. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, man. Like everybody got all these eloquent, great things to say about the show and trying to tell everybody and force everybody to think it's so great.
Because y'all don't want no,
and everybody talking to each other. Everybody talking to each other.
I don't want no smoke, Leroy. I want to get my chicken wings. I want to sit my family in front of the TV and watch the game.
It's not about the smoke.
I don't want the smoke. I want to watch a football game and enjoy some songs.
So
I don't want no smoke on. I don't want no smoke on.
Bro, what the smoke got to do with the what do smoke got to do with the songs? What do smoke got to do with what do smoke got to bro? Listen to what I'm saying, Leroy.
And
what
that's
do smoke got to do with what do smoke got to do with Pickaboo?
This is why people are saying.
What do smoke got to do with Pickaboo or Euphoria?
This is why some people are saying people are dumb, because they don't even know that a fight exists between black people and the powers that be. They don't even know it exists.
Man, you
You
going too
think
far. Like I
everything is
said, bro.
happening. They think everything is happening.
You're not answering. You're
They
not
don't
really
even
answering the
know.
questions at all, man.
Let me read the super chats real
But
quick,
watch
guys.
the show and you'll see what Kendrick is doing. But you got to be able to see two things. Stop seeing one thing on the surface. Go beneath the surface
Let me
and
read the
see
super
two
chat. Let me read the super chats real quick, guys. Jermaine Johnson says, "No, you're too loud. You're too reckless. Too ghetto." I want to come back to that in a minute. DJ Bruce
Yeah,
Almighty
all
says,
that. I'm all that. Oh, that's
"Nah,
the
super
show.
duper. What's dangerous is whenever we can't shake our ass, it's considered trash. Everything you're saying proves you didn't quite get it." I'm gonna let Super respond to that in a second. Let me keep going. Jermaine
And
Johnson,
get
the
on
super
camera.
chat. Don't be disruptive. Just perform the big hits. Mad Max with the super chat says, "LOL, DJ Bruce Almighty, no disrespect, but black people have always liked music that can move them first physically, then mentally. You kill me with the shake your ass yams pause tape." Mad Max with the super chat says, no, I'm sorry. Mad Max says, "If KRS can make sound of the police and Dot can't, yes, he is trash. Yes, he's whack. Whack message with your good
Wow.
without good
You're
music
hating. You're
in
hating,
a
bro.
genre, a music genre is whack. We want good music, then a message on top." Mad Max says, "LOL,
You
Dot
just
has
said
an
you don't
enemy."
want the
That's the
message.
same guy who who got on a Made Men beat and said how he and two other black musicians were reincarnations of Lucifer, who's his enemy, Christ, because he's a member of the industry.
You can't use Christ because what is Christ about? What is Christ's main objective? If Christ was in the building and he looks up and sees Caesar, what is his main objective? So either you with Christ or you not. Christ ain't going to be singing and dancing and just doing the hits.
Again, okay, let me finish this last super chat. DJ Bruce Almighty says, "No one thinks he's a genius for him not performing his hits. He's genius of how he executed it. We've been good for doing it. We've been doing for people. We do it for Lupe." Again, I want to say this again for Leroy and Super Goals. I thought the performance is well executed, but I do think it comes a time and a place where it's okay for you just want to enjoy a game without diving deep into a deeper message. You can do that, and I can still be about the struggle. I can still be about my
You
people.
didn't enjoy Not Like Us?
I can still be about all the things, Leroy, you articulated, and still think I just want to hear some jams. I don't want to go deep on the Super Bowl Sunday. I gave you an analogy in the chat. I take my family to a game. I spend $100 for parking, $100 for food, $100
Your
for
family
drinks.
didn't have a good time?
I spent travel money to get them plane tickets to get them to a game. I don't want to hear a message at the game. I just want to see a game and some music. And I think that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Is that okay? Is that okay though for me to want that? Does that take away from who I am as a black man? Does it take me anything away from me as a black man to just want to enjoy a game with my family without
I hear you.
music?
I hear you. When the Kaepernick thing was going on, I got upset. Look how they treating Kaepernick. People said, "Well, sit down, just watch the game, just have fun." I felt the way. So there are some of us that feel a way, and some who don't. That's all I'm saying.
Like I said, man, I think most of y'all are making this shit up. Like y'all running with something and y'all making something way more deeper than it's actually necessary. But listen, this is the reason why I'm saying that. What's the cultural point of him performing Peekaboo? Where's the
whole performance?
Where's it? No, it's not just the whole performance. We talking about songs, and what I'm saying is that Kendrick got songs that Kendrick got other songs that he could have performed, and I don't have a problem. Let me state this again. Hold on, Leroy. Let me say this. I have no problem with what Kendrick decided to do with his moment. What I'm saying is I got a problem with the way that the fans are reacting to people that's saying they didn't like the set list. If people saying that they didn't like the set list, they didn't like the set list. I don't care about what Kendrick's message is and why he didn't do the shit that he didn't do, and all these great, grand, intelligent, educational excuses y'all got that y'all trying to give him that y'all would not give to no other artist out there.
So either we're culture or we're not.
We wouldn't give this credit to no other artist. This is just like us saying if Wayne
we're not talking about the other artists.
Hold on.
They're not
Wayne does the Super Bowl. Wayne does the Super Bowl next year. And instead of Wayne performing some of his most known hits, he decides to perform his album that he's dropping pretty soon. He just gonna run those songs and then he gonna perform a milli at the end. No, people would say, no, man, I expected more from Wayne. I wanted some of the hits. I think that people, it's nothing wrong for people wanting the hits. And regardless of he decided to not do the hits. Whatever reason that Kendrick decided to do what he did.
We're
Like I
not
said,
saying there is anything
I
wrong.
appreciate and I get it, but I have no problem with other people saying I would have
think y'all
enjoyed the
had
show.
fun.
I would have enjoyed the show more if he would have performed more hits, or if he didn't make it so
I
much
think
about
y'all
Drake.
enjoyed the show, though. I think y'all enjoyed the
Oh
show.
yeah, no, we
Like, if
did.
you
Like I
didn't
said,
enjoy the show,
I enjoyed the show.
I don't have
I
no
enjoyed the
problem with the
show.
show.
I enjoyed the
But
show.
So
I thought
if
it
you
was well.
enjoyed it, that argument's done.
I enjoyed the show.
If you
I was
enjoyed
well
it, the argument's
executed. My
done.
only problem is I just don't like the argument where people that criticize it. The first thing people say is that they're not with the cause, and they dumb, they slow. It's okay to think the
Well,
show
what's
was
culture?
It's okay
What's
to think the show
culture?
was cool.
If I see Kendrick Lamar in an argument with Donald Trump, this is an example. Because of culture, I'm going to pick a side. Because the culture is letting me know to pick a side. That's it. So that's one example. So if we don't like something Kendrick is doing because of culture, we still should understand why we should pick his side. That's culture based.
That's it. Y'all going too far. This is what I mean. Like everybody, y'all going too far with this talk about this. I think that people is just saying that.
I think y'all had fun though, and you're capping by telling me you didn't have fun, y'all didn't enjoy it. I think all of you enjoyed it, and all of you had fun.
Is this.
But now you're saying
we just saying that Peekaboo. You know there's no messaging in the Peekaboo song.
That's a little kid.
There's no messaging in that. There's no messaging. There's no messaging in Euphoria, bro. Those are all they just did songs. They just did songs. Is all I'm saying. They just did songs.
When you go outside,
he got other songs with messaging in it.
When you go outside, it's about power. It's about who has power and who does not. The people in power are saying, we are in power and we have more power than you. So we are going to pay you to work against yourself. Now, either you're going to take this money and appease me with your happiness, or you're not, because I'm in power and you not. Our argument is F your power, and we gonna fight against that power, and we not doing no singing and dancing. We sneak dissing you.
He still was singing and dancing.
That's your own thing. Hold on. We're sneak dissing you because you are not gonna just dominate us. Because outside between men, I know the children, the babies, and the women might be here, but between men, we fight over power in the real world. We fight for power. So everything is coded. Everything is double meaning. Everything is serious. Nothing is for play. Because men fight for power. That's what's happening. Yes, Kendrick on one side, Trump up there in the booth. The battle is over power. What group controls more power? Kendrick cannot just bust off a real AK in the stadium, so he's using his art. He's using art to trigger that. Now, for those of y'all that are not with that, that's fine. I know you want to just be comfortable, and I'm okay with you being comfortable. But in Kendrick's job, his job is to give you reason to celebrate. Because a lot of y'all are celebrating for no victory.
Man,
you never won no victory
but
to
if people
celebrate.
is calling that show mid, people got the right to say it's mid without all these educational breakdowns about why it was so great. We can't listen. That's what I'm saying. We don't. It's not. We don't need this. Like we don't need this. I don't think y'all change it. Do y'all think? I don't think that any of those breakdowns made anybody think that the show was great. I don't think that anybody after they watched the breakdown, nobody was like, oh yeah, you know what? Now the show was great to me. Now nobody like these breakdowns are unnecessary. I think that everybody got the message. Everybody get it. It's not necessary, bro. It's not.
Because if I ask people questions, they're not gonna have no answers for me. If I ask hip hop culture, aside from elements, what is our culture? Give me a solid, specific list. None of you will have a list.
You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get the answer from that show.
I got a list. You know what my culture is? Barbecuing some chicken for the football game and eating it. That's the culture.
Okay. So let me tell y'all what culture is. Culture is defined by way of life. It's a set rules of step-by-step specifics that sustain life. So I know that y'all think that culture is partying. Culture is the shoes on your feet. Culture is celebrating. And I know that y'all think that's what culture is. But actually, culture is a sustained way of life. I do this. I do that. I believe this. I fight behind this. That is culture. If we do not have that, we call ourselves culture to
Bro,
feel
that ain't
better.
got nothing to
To
do with the
feel
crowd.
better.
That ain't got
Kendrick
nothing to
is
do with those
reminding you.
videos, bro,
Kendrick is
of the crowd
reminding
being
you
dead.
that no, we have a real culture. When he invokes Christ, y'all thinking Christ is a last name, so you don't know Christ's culture. So he's invoking things to let y'all know that yes, we have culture, and yes, there are two sides. We are not all friends. I know y'all just want to be friends, but
Bro,
Kendrick is
all of these
saying no, we're
breakdowns,
not
like I
all
said,
friends.
Leroy, it's not making the Super Bowl performance any better. Like I said, I think we all
It's the
get it.
most watched Super Bowl ever.
It's not making it any better to people. That's all I'm really saying. Like
Everybody had fun.
we
You
can
capped
all of
it.
these great. Let me
Capped it.
speak. Let me speak. All of these elegant
Go ahead.
breakdowns, they not making people say that yeah, the show was fired. You know what I'm saying? Like the crowd wasn't into it like that. I know y'all have seen all the videos of the crowd being
Only
dead. The crowd
Republicans
was
is
barely
mad.
into it. The crowd was barely
Only
into it.
Republicans is mad.
It's not because he wasn't performing Don't Kill My Vibe or something. It was just like, what song is this? They were just like, what is this? Oh, this Peekaboo. Like, I don't know this song like that. I heard it.
He
People
did
just
more than
didn't know
Peekaboo.
and couldn't
He did more
identify
than
with it. You know what I'm saying?
He did
But
more than
listen,
Peekaboo.
like I said, I'm going to give Kendrick his props in general because, like I said, I get the show. I understand where he's coming from, and I appreciate the messaging. But I
So
do
break
believe
that
that
down.
he could have got. I'm not finna do all that nerd shit. We know it all.
Say
We
that's
already
nerd
know.
shit though.
And
That's
you done
nerd
done it
shit.
for me. You already done it. You already done it.
That's
You gave
nerd
me the
shit.
answers already, bro.
It's nothing really to break down.
There's
It's
nothing more
easy.
left. There's nothing more left to break
It's
down. What more?
easy.
No,
What?
what it is,
It's not like some
Kendrick,
scientific equation that you can't
it
understand.
is
It's easy
though.
to
It
break down.
is.
I
Yeah,
understand.
it's there and done already.
Kendrick offends people because they don't know how to say I don't know. Because if I ask specific questions instead
Man,
of saying
that's
I
it.
don't
Y'all
know,
going too
y'all
far with
gonna
this, bro.
What didn't I know? What didn't I know about the show? I
Yeah.
understood it the first time I
answer.
saw it. I understood it the
Y'all don't
first time.
agree with what Kendrick is doing.
No, I didn't
Y'all
say
don't
that either.
agree.
I agree with what he
I
did.
didn't. Yeah,
I can
I
tell
just
by
said the
all this
same shit.
pushback.
I didn't
Y'all don't
say
agree with
anything.
what Kendrick
I'm
is
not
doing.
even giving him no
So
pushback. What I'm saying is,
let me clarify. Let me clarify my argument. My argument was I enjoyed the show. It was well executed. He did a
So what's the problem?
phenomenal. What I'm saying, I understand how black people didn't like it or didn't appreciate it, and I get it, and I get why they didn't like it. That's all I'm saying.
There's black people that don't like this show. Where y'all at?
Yes.
Where y'all at? I need y'all on camera.
There's some black people that said they thought the show was just all right. It was cool.
I need
And
y'all
that's
on camera.
okay. Not everybody's saying the show was the best thing they ever saw, and that's okay. That's all I'm
yeah,
saying.
and that's all I'm really saying.
That's all I'm saying.
People, it's like the fan base
we gotta be smarter than
I
this.
can say the show was cool.
I
can say the show was cool without saying it's the best thing I ever saw.
And it don't have to be all extreme.
Kendrick's not a minstrel. So I know that's what y'all expected.
I didn't say that. I didn't say
not
that.
A minstrel.
But I didn't say that. I said I thought the show was cool.
Not you, but people wanted Kendrick to do this. But y'all know y'all picked the wrong guy.
The way you talking is exactly the problem, Leroy. That's exactly the problem.
The wrong guy.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Leroy. I didn't say that, Leroy. I said Kendrick Lamar executed the show the way as an artist I thought he would. He stood true to his artistic credibility and his artistic merit, and I appreciate him staying true to himself. All I'm saying is I understand how others could say they didn't enjoy the show. They just thought it was okay, and it's okay.
Well, go over there with dude from Die Hard. Go over there with dude.
Let me read the super chats real quick. DJ Bruce Almighty says super duper hit message was not about playing the game the way people want him to. So how could be performed hits and got the same point?
Let me answer this question. Let's put it back up, and then Bruce Almighty comment or reply back. Okay, I get the message, right? He didn't have to perform the hits, but what does Euphoria have to do with the message? What does Peekaboo have to do with the message? Those songs ain't really message songs. They didn't. And then even hold on, Leroy. Let me finish.
You're right though.
Even within those performances, there was no major messaging even going on. So everybody that even speak about the messaging, they never talk about those parts of the show. And if people, like I said, man, if people like, well, I would have rather heard him perform this song than that song, I don't think there's no problem with it. I think that's the real argument that people having. People saying that they wish that he would have performed some other songs and not focus so much on Drake, right?
That's all.
The answer to the question,
that's too small of an argument.
Your reply when I'm saying this, or when the regular fan is saying this, that I wish he would have did some other songs instead of those songs. the reply back that people was getting is, "You dumb as hell. You just dumb. You don't get it. You just dumb. It went over your head. You're too stupid to understand." It was
why,
genius.
Super.
It was
Here's
you
why.
just don't get it. You don't care about the
song.
struggle. You don't care about the
It's not
struggle.
about the song.
He's not tap dancing for the man. It's like, dude, that's not what that's going way too far on what I'm saying.
Super.
Like, that's going too far, bro.
What they're saying is you were watching the show and you thought it was about the songs. You didn't see that it was visuals being represented, and you didn't realize that this ain't even about the songs. You honestly thought that it was about the songs.
Who did?
So that's why people are saying, okay, but people are saying y'all stupid. Now, they shouldn't call people stupid because this is a very complex subject matter. So I don't believe in calling people stupid when the subject matter is complex. But what they're saying is, you thought this was about the song, the hits. Like, you thought that's what this was about? Kendrick Lamar? Come on,
like I said, bro,
y'all know
going too far.
Let me breeze through these super chats real quick. James Joseph with the super chat, just showing love. James Joseph, shout out to James Joseph. The Raisin Head says, "Where's the critical breakdown and wokeness for Nas? He was only chosen to perform because he made a song dissing another black man." Let me go through
Nas
the super
wasn't
chats.
there.
Let me go through these super chats. They're trying to convince themselves to like it. Jermaine Johnson with the super chats. "The revolution will be televised. They picked the right time, but the wrong guy. I love the controversy." Okay. So let me know when the revolution is televised. I still haven't seen it come across my TV. Maybe I didn't pay my bill.
He just meant on the game. The message was very simple. We know
I don't think that there is no real controversy. There is no controversy. The controversy is people saying that they didn't really care for the performance. The controversy is all of the fans trying to tell you that you slow for not liking it. That's the real controversy. It's not the messaging.
But if you
there's no controversy really here. It's just that some people saying that they get the messaging, but they would have rather had a better performance. That's it. That is the controversy.
Yeah, the great thing about it is y'all don't have to watch Kendrick Lamar or listen to his music or even watch the halftime.
And you don't have to go that far, bro. You going too far. We watched the show and we judging the show, man. We watched the show and people judged the show, and some people thought it was the best shit. Some people thought it was the best performance. They saying it was better than Michael Jackson.
But you know how easy it is to say I don't like something?
What I'm saying? So
that's
why people judge.
Easiest thing you can do. To say, okay, I don't like it. That's the easiest thing you can do. There is no substance there.
Who even said
no substance there?
Come on, let's stay on track, man.
Let me finish these super chats, guys. We got a lot more.
Conversation done. That's the end of a conversation. Once you say I don't like it, that's the end of a conversation. There's nowhere else to go.
We got a lot more super chats. Let me get to them real quick. He performed, DJ Bruce Almighty. Shout out to DJ Bruce Almighty. He performed his 2 hits when Samuel told him to. That was part of his show, to not play those type of records. It's okay to want to hear the hits, but do you understand why he didn't?
It's out of here.
Yeah, I get it. Like I said, I get it and understand it. I think we all get it at the end of the day. I think that we all get it at the end of the day.
If you get it, that's the end of the conversation.
No, that's not the end of the conversation. The conversation is this, Leroy. The conversation is, was it a great Super Bowl performance? That's it.
So you want to argue about not liking it.
The messaging is great. The messaging is great.
We're not going to argue about what you don't like.
But was it a great Super Bowl performance compared to other superstars that was up there? I don't think a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people think so. It's got mixed reviews.
We're not talking to them. They don't count. They don't count right now.
I'm saying it for myself. I think the performance was great, but
you're the only one.
I think that he could have chose better songs.
No, it's a lot of people.
Listen. I said that at the beginning while we was watching it live. I put that right away. I was the first one to say that. I was the first one to say that.
Hip hop is fight music. It's not calm down and lay down and sit down. Hip hop is fight music and fight against something, resistance music. That's hip hop. So if you don't know that by now, not you, Super, the people that have an issue, if y'all don't know that hip hop is by design is resistant fight music, then y'all don't know what's going on. See, they think it's about the hits, but they not like us.
Well, we gotta quit doing that to people, man. Kendrick said the people are not slow, man. They're not slow.
Hip-hop. Once it loses that and we all get along in kumbaya, it's not hip hop no more.
Let me get to the super chat. Let me finish this so we can cook, guys. Let me finish the super chat. Lord Vachai with the super chat says it's not just music, it's hip hop. Shout out to Lord DJ Bruce Almighty again checking in. Super duper. I originally thought the show was just okay. until I saw it again a second time and got the breakdowns. So that's not true. What else we got? Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says the complex, layered, and controversial set drives the replay numbers of the halftime show. A basic big hits set would not have had many replay views. We replayed it last night and we thought it was, again, I thought it was cool. My wife just kept commenting on the pants. She was like, I ain't really feeling them pants. So she couldn't take the message seriously because she kept talking. My wife got multiple degrees, so she's very intelligent. She just thought the pants was too much for her. Matt Max with super chat says the funny thing is just said GNX was full of hits when it came out. Remember, it was the West Coast bangers. Now they weren't his hits, so no, they just not classic or great songs. That's what Mad Max said.
For those of y'all that are offended because somebody called you stupid, I apologize for your feelings and how someone made you feel. I don't know who made you feel like that, but I'll apologize for them so your feelings can recover. And I understand the argument to a degree that you want the entertainment level to be heightened up some more by better choice of songs or quote unquote hit records. I understand that. But if we all know Kendrick Lamar before he hit the stage, we already know where his mind is at anyway. So we should have already kind of knew that, oh, this is going to be message based. Now, the songs, you could say that Peekaboo doesn't have nothing to do with that, but you could say visually, if I'm watching red, white, and blue, all these black people in a formation, they're separate most of the time. Then they come together in the end. And also when they were still separate, they formed the flag and all that. You see there is a visual aspect to what's going on. Now, you saw Uncle Sam there. You got the message, right? You saw the video game buttons there. Y'all got the video game buttons. You saw the red, white, and blue. Y'all got the video game. Y'all got the messages. So mission accomplished. If you got the message, then the mission was accomplished. Now, if he didn't hit your mark for hit records, I apologize for everybody that feels away. But understand that he had to get a message across for the core of hip hop that wants to go pick a fight. Because we don't want to lay down. We don't want to lay down for the government.
I'll give Kendrick credit as far as this, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like, I feel what he did. Like I said, I don't have a problem with what he did at all. I feel like, as somebody that's part of the culture and that pay attention and know what's going on, I feel like we were really almost like watching an inside joke play out on the stage. Like, it was a hip hop, it was for the hip hop community. And like I said, I understand that and I get that. And I think that everybody get that. You know what I mean? I really don't think that the message really totally flew over anybody's head. Like, shout out to DJ Almighty if he didn't catch it, you know what I'm saying, the first time, or he needed a breakdown for the show to be better to him. But, like me personally, like I said, I caught it. We were speaking about it as it was going live. You know
there
what
you
I'm saying?
go.
And I think that, and like performance-wise, like I said, you got to give him his props. But like I said, I was rooting for Kendrick to just have his big moment, and it's fine that it's causing controversy, and it's fine that right now it's the most watched Super Bowl halftime show of all time. But like I said, when it comes down to it, after the dust settle and we really get to talking about Super Bowl performances, and we not prisoners of the moment, I don't think people be ranking it saying that it was over Prince's. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, we just going a little bit too far. And I just think that, for Kendrick Lamar, we treading in dangerous territory when it come down to him if people can't even say that they're not satisfied with a show without getting
people gonna argue
getting a whole
over
dictionary pushback on why they didn't like everything.
If we're gonna argue over whether we like something every time something happens, we're gonna be arguing forever. But right now, the country is divided, and Kendrick is showing that yes, the country politically and socially is divided. He's not gonna lie and say we're all together, we're all singing and dancing, because that is not the truth of America. Now, in the end of it, all the colors come together and we all united. What he's saying is just like for a split second, you seen the Gaza thing, red, black, and green. That should ring a bell in a black person's mind. But he's saying we can be divided, yeah. But at some point, we're gonna have to shoot for something higher, which means unification. Now, if we can't see that, And we're going to argue and argue and argue. What is the better argument? What is the better fight? Are we going to fight because we don't like each other? Or are we going to fight because there's a larger system that is creating divides? What fight are we going to have? I want to go pick the harder fight. I want to
Yeah,
fight the guy at the top.
and I
I
agree
don't
with
want
you.
to fight Kendrick Lamar.
I agree
Kendrick
with you.
Lamar is not a fight that I want to have.
I agree, and I again, I said the performance was true to Kendrick Lamar as an artist, and he didn't deviate from what we've always known from Kendrick. He's always put together intricate, thematic shows. So there's nothing different from what he does, and I respect it. But I don't want to denigrate or disrespect people that didn't enjoy it. Like my mother-in-law didn't enjoy the show. I didn't prompt her. I asked her, so what do you think? She said the game was terrible. She thought Kansas City did a terrible job. And she said, I just didn't understand it. She's like in her 70s. I didn't like the halftime show. I didn't know none of the songs. I just didn't enjoy it. Got it. My daughter, who's of college age,
That's fine though.
I didn't prompt her. And then Bomani Jones said he thought the show was all right. So the
you
people
don't
that
have
thought
to
the
like
show
it.
was all right, it's okay. But
You
it's
ain't
just
gotta like it.
okay. That's what okay.
And that's the thing. Like people can say people can say that they thought the show was all right without Kendrick fans arguing them down, trying to tell you that it was genius and great
Do you know
and the
why
best
they're
thing ever. Like just let people say what they got to say without having to pull out all of these.
We gotta argue you down.
Breakdowns.
We gotta argue you down here because
no, man, you don't have to argue people down,
don't see
man.
the bigger fight. I saw elders that weren't fans of the Eagles or the Chiefs. So the only thing they said before Kendrick took the field is they said, I'm going for the Eagles. Well, what you going for the Eagles for? Because I see black people over there and I see white people over there. So because I'm black, I'm going with the code. All they needed was code. They didn't need nothing else because they weren't Eagles fans and they weren't Chiefs fans. They just saw black and white. Now, I'm not telling everybody to simplify the code to simply that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is some people hear a code. When you see Kendrick Lamar or hear a performance, what people are arguing against is they think that you didn't see that it was time to be on code. Now, you saw that. And I know you saw that. And I know Ron saw that. And every intelligent black person saw that. I know you saw it. But what they're arguing is, since they don't know you, they're saying, we don't think you know you're supposed to be on code. When Kendrick is in the room and the powers that be in the room, you're supposed to pick a side. Now, those that don't, you know what I mean? That's all they're saying.
I think right now, man, Kendrick is in a hot air balloon and he getting so much gas that it's going to be to the point to where he can't come down. He can't come down. And like, if any criticism of his music, any criticism of his performance, any criticism that you got of it, like I said, it started with Mr. Morale. I mean, it's like the Kendrick gas had been out of control for a while. Like, you know, the same thing happened when people said that Mr. Morale was mid or they didn't like it. You had a bunch of super breakdowns about why it was so great and so
we were
so
dumb.
this or that.
We were too dumb to understand how
great
you
were
was.
too. This only happens with Kendrick Lamar, bro. This only happens with Kendrick Lamar. I don't even think Nas fans me off. Nas fans don't even make you dumb. Like they don't even be like, well, you just dumb. It went over your head, and like nobody else, no other rapper get this type of like benefit of the doubt and like
they get
no, they don't. No, they don't, bro. They don't. They really don't.
But my favorite artists piss me off. That's why they're my favorite. Everybody who's great pisses me the fuck off at some point. Jay-Z is gonna do some shit that I don't like. That Nas is gonna do something I don't like. Cube, KRS-One, all these people do. When Nas makes Nostradamus and he gives me a reason to be upset, that pisses me off. When Jay does 444 at first and I hear it and it gives me a reason to be upset, that pisses me off. What I'm saying is part of being great is pissing you off. That's what you're supposed to do. If you're just making people happy every time you do something, that lets me know you're too comfortable. You ain't pushing no line.
No, Drake but like I said, Leroy, you missing some of what I'm really saying, bro. I'm just saying that it's getting to the point to where even like he can't do no wrong. Like no matter what, no matter where we go with it, there's going to be an explanation on why the shit didn't land, on how it went over your head. He's been getting explanations and thorough breakdowns of his every move, especially since this beef started. Like, he couldn't do nothing without somebody breaking down the color of his shirt and all this extra shit. And like I said, I get
We
it. You know what I
should
mean?
do
Like
that though.
Kendrick
We
is
should do that.
and listen. This ain't no knock on Kendrick. This is not a knock on Kendrick Lamar. This is a knock on the fans, for real. This is a knock. So don't
I
get me
hear
wrong.
you.
Even my criticism of Kendrick Lamar, like I said,
But
the
even as
fans.
fans,
Hold on. Let me say this real quick. I
yeah.
think that the fan base and us as fans, we getting caught up in the moment, and we letting this shit go so far to where there's nothing wrong that this guy will be able to do. There's no criticism that we'll be able to give him. Everything else will be looked at as hating or you dumb as hell. And we going a little bit too far where we can't say that damn, where people are just simply saying, I wish he would have performed some of his other songs.
Well, pick a
Without
different
you
argument.
becoming a
Pick a
hater
different argument.
against the movement, dumb,
You might be.
you know what I
You
mean?
might
All of
be
that.
hating.
Like, you know what I mean? It's
But
just
super. We
it's just out of
analyze
hand. We
everybody
getting out of
else.
control, bro.
We analyze everybody else. When you hop on a stage as a nobody, let's say you have 100 fans and you're just getting started. When you do your song, they analyze what you said. They analyze what you're wearing. They analyze the symbol on your hat. What does that symbol mean? They look at your cover, analyze the cover. They analyze your performance. They analyze your producer. They analyze your label. All these other things get analyzed about you, and you ain't even popular. So, of course, they're going to analyze a Kendrick Lamar. So he's supposed to put a lot on the table for you to analyze. That's his job. And it is
listen,
complex.
like I said, bro, I'm for me, you know, you don't have to give me no explanation. I understand it. I'm just saying that I'm like I said, I'm speaking directly to the people that's pushing
I got
back
you.
so hard on everybody else, saying that they wish that he could have did better, or he would have took more of his Super Bowl moment for himself and to showcase more of his catalog instead of doing 3 or 4 songs that was kind of directed at Drake and having all these other subliminals directed at Drake. I mean, it's cool that this moment has got him here. But this also gives the Drake fan a lot of ammunition to be like, yeah, he got to the Super Bowl and his whole show was about Drake, and he did some messaging around some other songs or whatever. But yeah, he not the performer that Drake is. I just wish that he would have lived up more to his moment and maybe even been a little bit more selfish. Like I said, I get the messaging, but you know, these shows get ranked. These are moments, and the Super Bowl is usually the time where you showcase.
Drake got new music coming out right now.
It's usually
Drake got new
when you
music
showcase
coming
your
out in a few
catalog,
hours.
bro. You showcase your catalog, and it's like, you know, the way that Kendrick
Drake
performed at the Super Bowl. Hold on, let me say this. I'm gonna give you the floor. The way that Kendrick performed at the Super Bowl, it was like he felt like he'll be back in like 2 or 3 more years. You know what I mean? I don't think that, like, you know, and I get it that he wanted to send his message and he wanted to stand on his artistic prowess or whatever, but he had plenty moments to send messages. He could have sent that same message with them red, white, and blue flags at the pop-up concert. You know what I mean?
He did that with the games, though.
If the message was for us, he could have definitely did that. That was where our eyes is on there. That message could have been for us at the pop-out show. You know what I mean?
But he unified the game.
You performing this message in front of a crowd that don't even get the shit at all, and it takes the internet, and we gotta pretty much break code and break culture and make all of these videos and show them why they need to understand it and break down every line and syllable. When we shouldn't have to do that shit. We really shouldn't have to.
It should be complex.
That's to me, that's against the code. That's against the code. Like, I remember when hip hop used to be special, when we had our own language and our own slang, and some shit it was just for us to understand. Everything is not
That's
always
what the show was.
Everything, yeah, exactly. It was for us. So all these internet breakdowns, all these internet breakdowns and all of that is unnecessary because we got it. We live this shit every day. You know what I mean? Like, there's no black person that watched that and really didn't understand.
If Drake wants to blow Kendrick out tomorrow, he got a microphone. So what are we talking about? Drake is going to drop a new album in a couple hours. So what are we talking about? If Drake wants to blow Kendrick out the water, he could do that.
That's an R&B joint, though. Let me get to these super chats real quick.
He can sing Kendrick out the building. If he wants to do that, do that.
Let me read these
I
super
mean, I'm
chats.
done with it
Let
after
me
this.
read these super chats
I'm
real
done.
quick.
No,
Let me read these
you
super
got it.
chats
I'm
real
done
quick.
with it after this because I'm not hating on Kendrick at all. I'm just, I'm just speaking up for the people that
Read these-
wasn't satisfied with the show all the way. And
I got
it's cool.
Let me read these super
Got you.
chats real quick. He played his hits, and Remy Essex says he played his hits, including a double diamond hit. Mad Max with the super chats. All this for a bell-bottom dot trying to be a bad, you know what? Rashawn Lynn says, I love the performance. I just think it didn't feel grand enough. I felt the scale should have been bigger, but I love the message.
Nothing's perfect, man.
Yeah.
Gary
Ain't
Bell
nothing
says
wrong with that.
Peekaboo's message is literally critics ain't talking about nothing. Parts of Euphoria that were performed were about his warrior instincts, not about Drake. DJ Bruce Almighty says, we're offended. You're offended when they told you didn't get it. It doesn't make you slow or dumb, but there's no way you can tell me you watch a movie and don't understand, but still like it. That's BS. Jermaine Johnson says nobody is wrong. We all like our tea different. And I appreciate that take.
Yeah.
Lord
Yeah, but that's
says,
common sense, though. You telling me, oh, we're entitled to not like it. So you're basically telling me common sense. But I mean, I hear you. Go ahead. You know what I mean?
Okay, now DJ Bruce Amaya says super. When Lupe made Mural, there were people who didn't care for it, and people told them, "You don't get it." I was told that. Stop it, fam. Lord Chai says,
Wait, I didn't even get what he said all the way, but
he says, super. When Lupe made Mural, there were people who didn't care for it, and people told them, "You don't get it." I was told that. Stop it, fam. Lord Chai says, Kendrick doesn't own the songs he didn't perform.
But my thing is this though,
Okay.
Ron. Again, if you're having a disagreement with a superpower, if I see you in an argument with Elon Musk, I don't have to agree with you, Ron. But the fact that I see you in that argument based on code, I'm already picking your side. Now people are gonna ask me, well, Ron didn't do a good job debating Elon. He could have did a better job. I'm gonna say, well, I don't care about that. That's only because I'm so on code that I'm backing up my guy. I don't care whatever else is
But you should
going
pull
on.
me to the
All I
side.
see
You
is
should pull me to the side, bet Ron. You should tighten up your debating
all
game,
I
man.
see
It's okay.
argument between the person I know and the person who I perceive as having power. So in that context, I'm on code. Kendrick, I understand that some people are dissatisfied, especially you, Mad Max. But in this particular context, there's an underlying code that we are all supposed to be on. Now we could pull Kendrick to the side and be like, fam, the pants, you know what I'm saying? You could have had some better pants or whatever y'all want to argue about. But the code means because trust me, he's already getting the hell. We only watch our platforms like our space. On the other side of the aisle, they're calling him every name in the book, everything but a child of God. Trust me. They're calling this the most ghetto, the most dirtiest, the most low intelligent,
I haven't heard
the
that,
most
Leroy.
because you're not
I'm not.
looking
I
over
haven't
there.
heard it either.
You're
I'm not
not
certain.
looking over there. They're saying this ain't even music. They're saying whatever this is ain't even music. It's garbage.
I'm just
That
hearing
is,
people saying that they didn't
it's
know the songs.
complete garbage.
That's what I'm
That's
hearing.
what
I'm
that's
hearing a
what
lot of
half
people saying
the
that they didn't know the
country.
songs.
That's
That's
the way half the
That's not
country
what
feels.
That's
I
not what
mean,
half the country is saying, Leroy.
you got
Half the
you got
country's
the
not
Go
saying that.
online.
you
Go
got the
online.
extreme people that's going extreme and they talking out the side of their neck and they what I mean, like, but like I said, a lot of us is almost making it worse with all these dumbass breakdowns that they sending out here every
But super,
every
I don't want
minute,
to see
bro,
nobody doing this no
every
more.
minute
If you just
every
gonna do
minute.
this, you can't just do this. If you
Why
a
not?
rapper, you can't do this.
Why not?
You gotta bring something greater to the table, my
Hey
If
brother.
man,
D,
You
like
if
I
D,
can't
said,
just go
man,
like this for an hour.
hey,
if DMX came from back from the dead and did the Super Bowl, why can't he just do that? Why can't he just do his songs?
Because
And
if DMX wanted to break out into prayer and be like, everybody praise Jesus, I'm not gonna argue with that man. Because I see
hey,
there's a bigger plight. If he starts invoking Jesus Christ as DMX, I'm gonna X my feelings about DMX out the window and see he's calling for a bigger plight. So I'm gonna agree with the plight.
let me read the super
Yeah,
chats real quick because we gotta move on to other topics. I don't want to take Kendrick
I'm
to take the whole damn show. Because Leroy, you gotta talk about the Roots, and then Super, we're gonna talk about Prodigy. We're gonna let you cook up with
Of
Prodigy because
course.
the Roots got such a 10 album catalog. Is a lot to unpack there. So we'll start off with Prodigy. But Mad Max says No super. This started with the Pimp a Butterfly. For a Dot
You're
fan
right.
who's someone else that calls a black person dumb for not liking it, you're racist. And if you black fan of Dot saying that to your brothers and sisters, you're a house Negro. Gary Ball says this.
Norm.
Gary Ball says, if Chris Stapleton played the Super Bowl, country music would have his back in the same way because it's their culture. Why shouldn't we uplift Kendrick? It's not that we're not uplifting Kendrick. We are uplifting him.
Yeah.
Again, we said the show was dope. We just said
Yeah,
it's
we
okay.
are. Yeah.
We can say it's okay to criticize. It's okay for us to say that the show could have been this. It was just okay. It was just all right. It's okay to say that. And it doesn't make us less than a part of our culture, or less than this, or less than that. We just said, okay, we thought the show was well executed, but it just did. If it didn't hit, it wasn't brand enough, or it didn't hit enough.
I got you.
That's all. That's all we're saying.
Hey,
That's
I
cool.
agree with what I agree with that last super chat that Mad Max just put up there. It did start with the Pimp a Butterfly. When people were saying that the album was mid and it was just all right, you had all these excuses and everybody was trying to break it down and call you all these different names, call you dumb for not understanding it or not getting it or just not liking it. Regardless, it's just music and songs. You know what I'm saying? And so
when it comes to
you're right.
Nas, though,
Mad Max, you 100% right. You 100% right. They started the gassing with the Pimp a Butterfly.
But when Nas drops an album like Untitled, we don't sit there and be like, man, where's the bangers?
Yes, we
know
do.
it's not even.
Yes, we
We
do.
know even it's not even.
When Nas drop an album like Untitled,
but we know it ain't even about bangers,
bro.
We
When
know
Nas
that.
drop an album like Untitled, and me as a Nas fan, like I said, Nas
that.
is my GOAT. Me as a Nas fan, when he dropped Untitled, I said it was all right. I didn't say it was the best thing out here going, and it's a genius, and you dumb for not getting why he calling it nigger, and we didn't do all this for Nas. Like we didn't do all this, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like we going way too far with the praise of Kendrick, where even somebody just saying that I wish he would have did more songs, or I wish he would have picked better
He's
songs.
The praise too.
That's going to that's now you a hater for even saying that. And now, like I said, even these super chats, you talking about we should be uplifting Kendrick. How are we not tearing him down for saying that we wish he would have did something better? And that's what I'm saying. Like the criticisms are going over the top with this shit. What comes down to Kendrick, we going too far, bro. We going too far, and I don't think that any other rapper is gonna get this type of benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? But next topic, man. I'm done with
hating,
it. That's it.
I've heard a lot of hate. I've heard a lot of hate by black people going at Kendrick for a long time. And it's just like, at what point do y'all just say, okay, like, give it to this guy? Like, now, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying on the internet, I've been hearing a lot of hate going at Kendrick for a very long time, like years. At what point do we see what he's doing? He did the same thing with To Pimp a Butterfly. He was doing this on Section 80. But he do the same thing with all the records. Have these.
At what point do the Kendrick Lamar fan admit that he just did something that was all right, and everything that he dropped does not need a grand explanation? Because like I said, like
all right standards.
I just want to know what's just okay. But everything that he does ain't genius. Everything that he does didn't go over everybody's head. You know what I'm saying?
But
I just think that
means
when is it okay to just be like, yeah, he dropped a mid album, or this album was okay, without insulting the fan base, or without trying to make everybody
other people doing way better than Kendrick.
Not black enough and all of this other shit. We're not doing this for no other rapper except for Kendrick Lamar.
All right means we have a list of people that are doing way better than Kendrick. Now, if you have that list, show me the list so I can make a new standard. But if Kendrick is all right, Kendrick is breaking records being all right. So if there is a greater standard, then I need rappers to be better than Kendrick Lamar. Your album, your performance, your diss songs, make them better. Make your diss song way better than Not Like Us if Kendrick is all right. Make your album way better than Kendrick's album if Kendrick's all right.
I think you're going. Like I said, Leroy, you're going somewhere else with what's actually being said, man. I'm not. Like I said, I'm not saying nothing bad about Kendrick. This ain't a knock on Kendrick at all. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, bro. But we can move on to the next topic.
I think people are taking it personal. If somebody calls them a name, if you go outside right now, the climate, everybody's
I think people taking it personal because they don't think that the show was great. Y'all taking it more personal. Y'all taking it more personal than people that said the show was just okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do
The show
the
just being okay is
knowledge
not
too. I do the
that's not
knowledge.
good enough for you guys.
If
Like if
if
somebody
I
said that the show was
personally
just all right, he performed great, that's not good enough for y'all. Like it's got like
okay,
y'all trying to
okay,
beat people into
but
submission
okay,
to
but
make it great
sometimes people
and
can
make
be
it the
wrong.
best shit that ever
Sometimes you could
happened.
be wrong. When J. Cole came out, I said, "Oh, I don't really think he's that great." Then I did the knowledge, and I see that he is that great, and I see that my opinion is not the only opinion out there. So when I see that everybody else is saying, "No, actually, he is great," I got to think to myself, "Well, maybe I was wrong in this state." What I'm saying, he's not that great. If he's proving to me album after album, tour after tour, that he is that great, maybe it's me. That's all. That's all. You know what I mean? Well, but we got new music coming. You know what I mean? Before you go into the Prodigy thing, because we got to go there, and I want to hear that too. But I just want to make new music from Fly God for the Drake folks. Drake and Party got something, but Fly God, you know what I mean? Westside Gunn is coming back out. I know he didn't like to be called King of New York, but I have my own opinion. For those that don't like it, they don't like it. But you know, with the Kendrick thing, I'm glad that it causes this much, because if your music doesn't cause these arguments, what are you doing? Why doesn't your music cause arguments? You want to chill all the time? I'm a Larry June fan, but we're going to chill every single day at every hour of every day. At what point do we pick a fight or an argument? We have to do that too. So, we need a balance. I think this year the party's got to die. Next year in 2026, we can party every day. If y'all want to party every single day of 2026, we could have an everlasting party. But for 2025, I think we need to think about the lyrics that are on these records, and we need to think about the messages and agendas we're pushing. Next year, we can just wow out and party every day. But this year, let's be serious. And I think Kendrick is drawing a line in the sand. No, I do not think people that don't like it are dumb. No, I do not think people that don't think it's the greatest thing ever are dumb. I don't think y'all dumb. But I'm just saying the reason why people are so animate and arguing because they feel that you might not be on code. That's all. And they could be very well wrong about that. But that's really what they're arguing. You know what I mean? That's all.
You want to get to
you
the
you
super
like I'm
chats,
done with this
Ron?
shit. Super like I'm over this shit, man.
I mean, I said what I got to say. I mean, and I don't want to go too far on the Kendrick, because it's not. I'm not really even saying what I'm saying
Right,
is not even against Kendrick. It's not, it's nothing against Kendrick
right.
at all. I'm just talking to the fan base. I just think that,
No, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah. You're
that
not
at
wrong.
some point, people just got to be able to accept the way people feel about the performance or the albums or whatever without having
Yeah,
all these grand explanations on why it was so great. You know what I mean? Like I get it. You know what I mean?
got you.
And me personally, I respect Kendrick, and like I said, I feel like the whole show was an inside joke. It was a hip hop joke. You know what I'm saying?
Basically,
I respect Kendrick for doing it the way that he wanted to do it. It was his moment. It was his Super Bowl performance. He did it the way that he wanted to do it. So shout out to him. And it's people talking about it, but I mean, I don't know if they're talking about it for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Like
got
the fans started this conversation about the imaging and all of that. So you know what I mean? Like I don't think
no.
like
I got you. I got you.
I
Yeah,
think Kendrick
I
sits
got you.
back and like he said in the song to Drake, the fan base, they not slow. I think that Kendrick sit back, he do this shit, and he kind of looking at it like, well, shit, it ain't that deep. Or people, I seen an interview where Kendrick was saying people break down all this stuff and they bring up stuff that he not even thinking about. You know what I mean? Like we just going a
Right.
little bit overboard with all of this shit. And shout out to Kendrick for causing controversy and giving us something to talk about. But we got to
Let me.
watch ourselves as a fan base. We
We
gotta
do.
we
We
gotta
do.
watch ourselves. We gotta
We
watch how far we going with this shit.
we do. We do. Let's get to the super chat. So we're gonna move on to Prodigy and then the Roots, and then we're gonna touch the West Side Gun. We got a packed show, man. I think we got some. Anyway, I was gonna get some beef shit started, but I'm gonna stop. LOL. What's this?
Yeah,
LOL.
it's
Dodge
a big-
fans are
right.
worse than Jehovah Witness. Okay, man. Max DJ Bruce Almighty says,
It's getting there.
I heard you defend Pac when someone said he wasn't a lyricist. All greats get defended in some way. You're mad that we like it, but you want to force it being all right on us.
Who he talking to?
I think he might be talking to you, Super, or me. I don't know. I'm
not trying to force nothing on nobody. I'm just trying to say that just accept what people are saying about it is basically what I'm saying. Like, just accept what people are saying. If people if some people think that it's the most genius shit, some people think that it was just all right and he could have picked better songs. There is no need for all this extra explanation and all these extra breakdowns. I don't think that it's helping make people like the show any more or less. That's all I'm saying. Is, like I said, I'm not hating on Kendrick at all. You know,
hold
and
on
I'm not
real quick.
I'm not trying to make y'all say that it's just okay. I'm just trying to say that there's got to be a medium, and right now there is no medium. Either you gotta like it to the extreme, or if you got any criticism about it, you dumb as hell and you hating. And like we can't do that. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
well,
Leroy,
before we go,
go ahead.
There is some hate, not regards to the show or my brothers on the show. In the chat or just in general. If you got something to say, find me in reality and say it to me in person, and then one of us should die after that. And that's how we know it's real.
Well, no,
Come
Leroy,
on, man. We ain't internet thugging, man.
Other
We
than
not
that,
internet thugging, bro.
somebody should die.
we ain't gotta do all
We
that.
ain't internet thugging.
How about you send us the Xbox or how about we settle like this? Send us the Xbox or PlayStation 5 handle. We play Call of Duty and we do a battle that way. And we just finish it out. Anyway, Gary Bell says, how far is far enough? Do your goats really move you? Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, I don't care if people get offended. I'm tired of mainstream rap being so basic and elementary. Make these Negroes actually rap and think. All right.
I agree.
But I will say this, and y'all can call me whatever y'all want to call me in the chat. When I go to the game, when I fly my family to Texas and we go to that Cowboy Stadium, I just want to see a game. I ain't trying to do nothing. I think when I get back home, I think when I get back to my hotel, I want to see a game, some cheerleaders and some food and some drink. That's just me. Ain't nothing wrong with me. But let's get to the next topic. Prodigy. You've been waiting for this super duper. The infamous P of Mobb Deep. You've been waiting for this topic for a little bit.
Hey,
what's good?
If you're a Prodigy fan, y'all know, it's hard to make a top 10 Prodigy list because once you become a Prodigy fan, there's different reasons why you like certain songs. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said before, bro, this is my list. So if you got something to say about it, put your list in the chat, or put your list in the comment section. But Prodigy never gets the love that he deserves for his solo work. We always go back to Mobb Deep this, Mobb Deep that, and we forget that Prodigy was out here putting in work after Jay-Z put him on blast on the Summer Jam screen. So Prodigy at one point in time was really one of the last OGs really rapping at one point in time. Like he was out here by himself when Return of the Mac came out. Then everybody was packed up and chilling at the house. And Prodigy was one of the OGs that was still out here putting in work throughout that whole time. You know, product of the 80s, Bumpy Johnson LP, HNIC 2, Albert Einstein. I can always forget how to say the name, but Helglian dialect, or however you say it. You know what I mean?
Fire.
So yeah, Prodigy was out here putting in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? You got any images, or do you want me to just go ahead and run them down?
So number 10, let's do it right. Number 10, you had the Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac, the Rotten Apple. Like I said, if you know, you know. You know what I mean? Like this is an underrated classic from Prodigy. People always, go to HNIC when they speak on Prodigy's discography. They always bring this up. You rarely hear people bring this up. You got to be pretty much a real Prodigy fan to know about that Return of the Mac. But that's a classic. It's front to back. Bump that shit till it's over. So it's gonna be a couple of songs off my list from that. Number 9, I got Power Rap off the QB Finest track. It basically, I don't know if it's a freestyle or not, but it seemed like it's a freestyle. And it was one of those. I want to say this came out before HNIC, before the solo, before a solo project. So this is like one of those times where you see Project step out there on the solo tip, and it was one of those first solo Prodigy tracks out there.
All right, number 8, we had
Number 8, I got No Religion. off the
Hegelian
Hegelian,
dialect.
Hegelian dialect.
Yeah.
You
The
know what I'm saying?
dialect. What do you call it? The dialect.
Like this is another one where Prodigy he tell a deep story on there. He repping himself, but he's spitting some facts on there. He's spitting some gems on there, and it's another one of those things where like Prodigy is flowing. The beat is nice. It's one of the last real good projects I would say that Prodigy has. This is an underrated Prodigy solo work of art from front to back. He's speaking. It's a lot of deep messages on there. He's speaking on tyranny and Illuminati and government plans, and it's a deep project. And you know what I mean? Like I suggest that go back and listen to it for the content alone, especially in nowadays. Like right now, it's like we live in a lot of the things that Prodigy was speaking on in that album. So
No doubt.
number 7, this is another personal favorite of mine, man. It's Breeze. Breeze
Fire.
off of the Albert Einstein. It's not on the deluxe album, so if you go look this up, I recommend going to look this up on YouTube and playing the extended version, the alternate extended version where they play the where they got the sample from and it blends into the song. But this is one of those beats. Like I love this beat. The way Prodigy flowing on this shit is like crazy. So it's for me, it's just a personal. Alchemist on the beat. It's one of those personal Prodigy songs that I always let ride every time that what I'm saying, that it come on, or I wake up in the morning sometimes with that song in my head and go play it. Number 6, we got Don't Be a Follower from the Black and White movie soundtrack.
Ooh, that's a
Another
gem right there. You pulled that one out the cut.
yes,
Man.
classic
Okay.
grand beat. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy at his finest, going in. You know what I mean?
That was crazy.
I mean, he pretty much, describing his hood on there and pretty much just letting you know, like, don't play yourself out here in the streets doing some of the wrong shit. So it's another one of those Prodigy records where, the flow is impeccable and Prodigy doing his classic Prodigy things on there. So
no doubt. Hey, time out before, because we got such a great breakdown for Super Duper. Hey, blanket announcement. Be respectful to the host. If you're disrespectful to the host in any way, you'll be gonna get a permanent
do what you
vacation.
do. Just do that outside.
Permanent vacation from the According to Hip Hop. So that goes to Ike P or whoever. I've never seen this guy in the chats before. But anyway,
Never.
just keep it respectful.
Some of y'all.
I got Leroy. Hey, you can be respectful. You can agree to disagree, but just keep it respectful. Number 5.
Number 5, title track, man, HNIC. Another one of those grand musical beats. I love the way Prodigy rapped over this. Alchemist on the beat once again, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's Alchemist if I'm not mistaken, but just the way that Prodigy rapped over this and the way that it come on, it's like this song gives me the chills when I hear this shit, because like I said, I'm a super Prodigy fan, y'all. So I love the way that this beat is. It's grand. It's like it's Prodigy at his finest. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely one of his best mic performances, and it's one of those songs that you get to get into the mentality and the mind state of Prodigy and what makes him be the HNIC.
Number 4.
Nickel in the Nail.
That's
this
my
is
shit.
Another one of those personal ones. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much on Return of the Mac. I could have picked so much other stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure I'm gonna get some pushback on what I'm picking right now. Like I said, from the other Prodigy fans, because it's hard to just pick that definite top 10 from P. But this is another one of those tracks that if you know, you know what I mean? Like he rapping over the OV Wright, Nickel in the Nail sample. It just sounds, it's soulful. It's got a great blues like background beat, and Prodigy going ham over the beat. You know what I'm saying? So another one of those classic Prodigy tracks where you can only damn near hear. I can't hear nobody else rapping on it. I can't even imagine any other rapper rapping over that beat at all.
That album in general is fire. Just the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 3.
P Keep Spitting from the product of the 80s LP. I don't know if this is like officially a tape. I'm not sure if it's considered a mixtape or not, but I mean, when you look up on Apple Music or on Spotify, it's in his discography, so it's legit. But P Keep Spitting is another one of those tracks where P is snapping over a fire beat and rapping his ass off. Like I said, like the song say, Pete keep spitting. You know what I mean? So go check that out.
Number 2. What we got at
Number
number 2?
2 is the Prodigy origin story. You Can Never Feel My Pain, man. You can't listen to this song without as a Prodigy fan, you gotta go back. If you don't know nothing about Prodigy, if you want to hear his life story and what made him the man that he is and the man that he was before he passed, you have to listen to You Can Never Feel My Pain. It's basically his Joker origin story. You know what I'm saying? And he go through his life and great beat, great sample, classic soulful. I can't remember who produced this one, but whoever did, they put their foot in this shit. So another one. And number 1 is, of course, Keep It Thorough, HNIC, one of the most quotable tracks in art in rap history. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that you can make a list without having this at number 1, 2, 3. It's got to be in the top 5 for sure. So I don't think I'm gonna get much pushback for this one. But that's it, y'all. That's my top 10 Prodigy solo tracks.
Dope.
Well done, super.
All
Well
right.
done. Salute to
Come
you,
on,
sir.
man.
Salute
P,
to you,
man.
sir. We've been wanting to cook that up for a long time, man. Shout out to P, man. Again, to
R.I.P. to Prodigy, man. One of a kind for sure.
R.I.P. man. And to Super's point, he's got him from the infamous MOBB, but his solo career is sometimes unappreciated. A lot of people sleep on it. So a lot of good work with Alchemist. Check it out. Do your homework. We'll put the playlist in the description after the show. We'll link it to our Spotify, and we can y'all can check out the music, man. But good job, Super. Good job.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
No
I
doubt.
got so many honorable mentions. I got a whole nother list that I could have put probably in the same damn order, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I had to settle with something. So
No doubt. And let us know what your favorite Prodigy songs are in the chat. Leave a comment. I see some people are in the room tonight. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you are watching us on X, follow us on X, but also go to YouTube, run those numbers up. But if it takes you 2 seconds out your day to hit the like button to show us respect and then show us some love and leave a comment of your favorite Prodigy songs. We're going to pivot a little bit. Let me get to the super chats. Then we're going to turn it over to Leroy because Leroy's going to look at the roots, the almighty roots, the roots, Questlove, Amir. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about them a little bit. So we got super chat real quick. Mad Max with the super chat. What we got? DJ Bruce Almighty. Where we at? Jermaine Johnson super chat. I don't care if you people get offended. I'm tired of me. Well, I thought we had some more.
Yeah, y'all read that one.
We read that
you said that one
good.
Hey, let me say this while you find it real quick. And I brought this up when we talked about Prodigy too. This is my closing words on Prodigy, man. But Prodigy, at one time he was definitely top 5 at one specific time. And when you go back and look at it, I mean, I said this before, but there's only one guy in the game to survive Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, Prodigy beef with all the big ones. Tupac, he had beef with everybody, and it was a reason why he was on everybody's radar. And Prodigy was definitely one of those ones to pay attention to. So, if you're not a fan of Prodigy like that, your favorite rapper was. So that's for sure.
No doubt, no doubt.
That first song on Return of the Mac. I kept playing over and over. Was that a New York-ish or something? But that shit was crazy.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. All right, the Roots. Let's talk about the Roots. One of the greatest hip hop bands, groups of all time. Leroy Green, you're gonna take us through the catalog, right? You're gonna walk us from Philadelphia Life to Tipping Point, Game Theory, Raising Down, How I, Undone. You're gonna take us through all that, right? You know what I'm saying? Now You Shoot Your Cousin. What else we got? Man, so many. Let's walk us through. You want to start with Philadelphia?
That's where I'm going. So I'm gonna start there because I'm making the Roots argument, but I'm really making an argument for Black Thought. In this case, they're one and the same. So I'm using the Roots catalog, right? Because I don't really like to make all-time arguments, but I want to make a top 10 argument for Black Thought. And I'm going to use the Roots catalog to do so. So the first song I want to mention is What They Do. I think that's kind of a line in the sand. If you go back to what they do, just the subject matter. I'm going to make a parallel with Kendrick Lamar, and I'm going to use the Roots catalog to do it. Hopefully my computer don't go in and out because I'm, having to click back on. So I'm gonna start with What They Do on Illadelph Half-Life. The whole album was fire. Of course, you got, Universe at War, Clones, and Respond and React. All those are dope records. But first song I'm gonna call out is What They Do. And if y'all remember the video, that was fire too.
Yeah,
Biggie kind
super
of felt
dope
the way.
video.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
classic
saying?
video.
Yeah, video's crazy. Video's crazy. So that I'm gonna start there. Now again, I'm making a top. I'm trying to make a top 10 argument for Black Thought. Maybe I'll succeed. Maybe I won't. So I'm gonna start there. Then the second one, I'm gonna go with Things Fall Apart. That's their album after that, and I'm gonna talk about Act Two. That's where Common, he continues the I used to love her type of deal. But I don't know how I missed it, but when he says her daddy used to beat her, eyes all puffed, I barely caught that now. Like I don't know why I didn't catch that before. But anyway, that album's fire. First time we hear Beanie Siegel on Adrenaline as well. Step Into the Realm is on there. You Got Me is on there, of course, as well. Then I'm gonna go to phrenology. Phrenology, just briefly, that's a scientific term. It's analyzing the skull, the shape of the skull, to determine the intelligence or potentiality for intelligence, right? And that science has been used against us as well. So the music, we combat a lot of things with the music. But the song I'm taking from there is Sacrifice. There's a song called Sacrifice on there that's fire. But that album also has Break You Off. It has another song called Quills. It starts off with a song called Rock You, where he's spitting crazy. So we all know he can spit, but he has a lot of messages on these albums that I think get overlooked because he's rapping at with a certain aggression just about in his hip hopness that I think sometimes people miss the message. So the Tipping Point, the album after that, I'm just listing out all these albums because by the end, it's crazy how somebody can have all these albums that do have a lot of dope material and not be in this conversation. So Star, the first song on that album, that's a fire record. It also has Don't Say Nothing. It also has Stay Cool. It also has Somebody Got to Do It with Devin the Dude. The last song on that album is dope as well. So far I did What They Do, Act Two, Sacrifice, and Star. The next one I'm gonna go to after that is Game Theory. You know what I mean? So all these albums were in an order too in the way they came out. So Game Theory, the song I'm picking off that one is Don't Feel Right. It don't feel right. It don't feel right. That was just a fire song to me. All their album covers, it has a meaning kind of similar to where Kendrick is going. So I'm just painting that, a Kendrick has been here before, yeah, in another form. That album has Long Time on it. It has Clock with No Hands. Dope album. The next album I'm going to after that is Rising Down. And I'm actually picking the title song off that album, Rising Down, featuring Styles P and Mos Def. Shout out to Mos Def. He's working with Large Pro right now. Fire. But that song, Rising Down, is just crazy. They speak about, global warming. They speak about artificial intelligence. They speak about, different the foods and different things that it's just crazy. He also has 75 bars on that album. Criminal on the album. He has another song called The Show with Common Sense on there. That's fire. So I have to go back to that album because I think it was slept on. You know what I mean? And that picture right there too, that's kind of how they used to characterize us, like make us into monsters and put posters up. So our music fights a lot of battles, even to this day, even though we're talking about generations ago, but it created a mentality where people see us coming, they have a picture of us as almost being monster-like. So our music got to fight a lot of battles. How I Got Over is the next album. I'm going from there. And the song I'm picking off that one is The Fire. But it also has Do It Again with a John Legend on there. It has Dear God. It has Radio Days with Blue. Blue's on there twice. Actually, he's on Now or Never as well. And another song called Right On, which is really, I love that song, Right On. Y'all need to go back to that one. So How I Got Over, I'm picking out. So right now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gave y'all 7 songs and 7 albums. So that it's just a lot. The next one I'm gonna go to is Undone, concept album. He's telling the story backwards. He's the hustler. I won't give the whole story, but the song I'm gonna pick there is called The Other Side. Dope hook on there. Dope concept. Also records like Lighthouse, Stomp, One Time, Tip the Scale, and Cool On. Those are fire songs. Now these albums that I just named 8 of them. Though these albums are really good, especially if you're with the live instrumentation and stuff like that. These are really crazy albums, man, in that regard. Now the roots start to kind of slow down a little bit, but I still have to give it some props. So, and then you shoot your cousin. That's the album after that. He has a song on there called Understand, or they have a song called Understand. Fire record. You know what I mean? And a song called The Dark as well. So that's the 9th album I'm naming from Black Thought. Now, even though they kind of start to slow down a little bit in their music, they done gave y'all a whole decade plus full of just gems by this point. You know what I mean? So, and somebody mentioned the Seed too. That might have been on How I Got Over. But yeah, okay. So after that, I'm gonna go to Glorious Game. Now this is Black Thought's last album, solo album by himself, Glorious Game, and I'm going with a song called The Weather, and I'm going with that one because of like imagery bars. He's just talking about like his upbringing, but he's talking about the neighborhood he grew up in, but how he's describing his neighborhood is so vivid. You should be able to see the neighborhood if you close your eyes. And his descriptive ability is super great. You know what I mean? So those 10 songs from those 10 albums is why I think Black Thought does have an argument between 6 and 10 if somebody wants to put him in there as all time. If they don't, that's okay. But I'm just saying why I think he does have an argument. Also, we got the book, you know what I mean, the upscale cycle. I read all these artists' books. I got damn near every artist's book, and I done read them all because it gives you insight into their mentality. You know, he by accident as a kid, he burned down his own house. So when that happens, a series of events happen as a result of that. So just how he handles life, the grace in which he handles life, the attention to detail in which he can describe his own emotions, etc., etc. This is a lifelong pursuit, and they've been, rapping forever. Y'all know the Roots been putting out music since forever. So I just wanted to highlight that right there because I don't hear that catalog talked about a lot. When they talk about Black Thought, they go right to Streams of Thought and his solo work. But we got to count the Roots in there because that's his solo work, even though it's a group. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know
Yeah.
what I mean. He was the front man.
You know
You
what?
know what I
And,
mean?
I'm not even. You know what? I'm serious when I say this. When I think about because they on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and they play different music. They backed up Jay-Z before. They backed up other artists before. They're versatile
Right.
musically because they're a band. They're a hip hop band. They're instrumentation and they got Black Thought, Questlove. I really
Mm-hmm.
think if we thought outside the box and we did like the Roots and Friends, that would be a dope Super Bowl show. I mean,
Yeah, they could do that.
you can curate and sequence a dope Roots Super Bowl show that will be banging, have a message, and still be hitting because they can bring other artists together. You know what I'm saying? They can play other songs because they're a band. You know what I'm saying? It can be. I think it'll be a cool look.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I
imagine if they would have pulled off a group because he's in a group. But remember when they were talking about the Soul Quarians? That was like the Roots, Black Star, Erica Badu,
Common.
D'Angelo, Dilla. They was all gonna be in one group. Common. Now, if that album would have happened, Jesus Christ.
Hey, since you said that, when
You
you
know what I
ran
mean?
down, going through the catalog and all that, naturally it makes you go start comparing. So I gotta
Yeah.
ask you and Ron
No
in
doubt.
the chat. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
shit.
Y'all put the name in there. So who better, Common or Black Thought? Who
Mm.
you got?
Ooh.
Who you got?
Mm.
I'm gonna say
Oh.
Common. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna say Common because he's shown his versatility to work with different producers from No ID, to Dilla,
Mm.
to Primo, to Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? To Kanye. I think if you look at the totality of Common's work, you know what I'm saying? Can I Borrow a Dollar? To Resurrection, to you know what I'm saying? It's just so much,
Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
so Common's done so much with so many different producers. I gotta give the nod to Common. Now I think Black Thought is a better MC. I think he can rhyme better than Common, but as
That's
far as
really
the
what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
are
catalog
you talking about
rise and
catalog?
all
You
that.
talking about
I'm just,
Okay, okay,
bro.
okay.
I mean, even like they both got a good catalog. You can go pretty deep with the Roots catalog and his solo catalog versus
Oh, yeah,
Common's
for sure.
catalog. You can go song for sure. But I'm just really saying like from a lyrical standpoint and just MCing really like. I
Well,
I know
I give him
Black
the nod to
Thought does.
Black Thought as an MC. I give him the nod to
Yeah,
Black
because
Thought.
I know Black Thought he don't have a B or he don't have a like Water for Chocolate, but he has
right.
enough collectively to stand up against that. You know what I'm
He's
saying? I
close.
mean,
He's close. Yeah.
I think that if I wanted a feature, I'm going with Black Thought over Common. If I want a feature and if I want somebody to kill the mic and like go ham, I'm going with Black Thought over
Yeah.
Common. So
I think now, there's no wrong answer here. I think if any answer you pick they're close enough to where you're gonna be right in some regard, just based on how close they are. But when it comes to just lyrical ability, now I know people think I'm gonna go Black Thought. I think Common, bar for bar, he may be just the greatest period, but when people are not going to sit there
whoa,
and go bar, people not going to sit there and go bar for bar with Common. But if they do, if someone were to actually sit down and actually go bar for bar and count how many techniques he's using per verse, it's some other level, like he for back in the day, he used to throw a lot of punchlines, like punchline, 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 punchline. And it was just crazy to hear a conscious rapper doing that. So it's like Common lyrically, I think is very underrated, which is why I had him number 5 in my list, you know what I mean? And shout out to others that later had him 5 in their list as well. But I had him number 5. Now, if someone says Black Thought, I'm not mad because Black Thought, like Most Def, they have a certain ease. They make rhyming sound easy as riding a bike. When you hear Black Thought, it just sounds so effortless and easy, and it's
yeah.
dope. So I'm not mad. But
I
just
don't
on
think
the mechanic level, Common is crazy.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Black Thought got a whack verse. Like to be honest with you, I don't think that he ever spit a whack verse. I can't think
No.
of a whack freestyle, a whack verse or anything. I can say the same thing for Common too. So I'm not saying that Common is whack or nothing, but I mean, I
Yeah, I
don't
know.
know. To each his own. I don't think there's no right or wrong answer to it. But if I had to pick, I'm going with Black Thought. I think you just think he a little bit more. I like his flow a
No more
little
sharp,
bit better, a little bit more. That's
no
I'm just
doubt.
gonna go with the flow and go with that a little
No,
bit.
Common just has these songs. Like when we talk about I Used to Love Her, he's starting there. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start your career with an iconic song. Now I know he had an album before that, but what I mean is when you start in 1992 with an iconic song, it's kind of hard to like look over that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Do you think with him being so tied to the Roots, do you think it hurt his career? Do you think like just because of what y'all saying, like do you think if he had that project with Premier or if he had that project with Dilla or if he had
Mhm.
that project with Alchemist or what I mean whoever else and have more solo work that wasn't um so either so late in the game or pretty much his work so much being tied in with the Roots and the live instrumentation and
Mhm.
the things that the Roots do, what I mean? I think that yeah,
Yeah.
I think it puts him at a slight disadvantage in the way that we rate him and look at him. But
Mhm.
I could easily see Black Thought like ripping over like half of the shit that that was hot out
Oh,
at one time or another, or
easy,
what I mean, being looked at differently if he chose to
easy.
branch off
Yeah.
from the Roots on the solo tip a little bit more, or really work on his solo projects, and I
I mean,
think
I
it's
think
it
I
would
think
been.
it I
Go
think
ahead.
it helped him. I think it helped him and it hurt him. It helped him because you get to travel the world. If you're in a band, you get to travel the world. You get these huge perks because in order for them to book you, they got to accommodate 10 different guys. So it's like there's a lot of perks that come with that and it makes you very different. but it also kind of put him in kind of a box. Even Common has been put in a box too. And hip hop at one point was very super street, super aggressive, and it kind of put other people in boxes. So it helped and it hurt. But if Black
I,
Thought came out and was just a solo rapper, like Black Thought the solo rapper, that we may have heard a whole different level of aggression,
yeah,
different type of out.
I think the conversation wouldn't be this close. For one, like I think the
Yeah.
conversation wouldn't be this close. One thing I can say too, that another reason why I would choose Black Common over Common is because I never find myself bored with Black Thought, and sometimes I can find myself bored with Common. You know what I'm saying? So, that's another reason why I pick Black Thought over Common
Yeah,
too.
no,
You
it's
know what I'm
cool.
saying?
I've there's been times I've been bored with both. It's like it goes ups and down. It's like sometimes I'm really intrigued by what they're doing, depending on what album it is. Sometimes I could get kind of bored of it. Some albums, like Undone, I at the time of me listening, I might say I might get bored of it, but when I look at the what is happening, the concepts and the messages being used, I got to go back to them to re-listen to them. So I know some people because they will throw the boring out there. I think there's were times in Nas' career where people said, "Well, he could get boring."
That's
So
true.
I hear that argument, and I'm not mad at that because if I had to keep it real myself, there were sometimes some albums that I would get bored with too as well. But it's just when we're looking at totality, we're looking at 20 years from these guys of putting out music. So when we look at totality, we got to say, there were more times I wasn't bored than there were where I was bored. So I'm just
True.
going off the time I wasn't bored. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
No, let me do the
but
super chats real quick. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says the weather is a masterful storytelling song. Indeed, it is. Man, Max with the super chat says Common has quotables. Ron, thought don't. Common is greater MC. The Raisin Head says Common's best album is better than the Roots' best.
okay.
That's a
Okay.
I can say
I
that.
agree.
I agree.
Yeah. I got no issue with that.
Catalog wise, it's hard to press any MC with a better catalog than Common. If we go catalog for catalog, album for album, in the history
That's
of
the
hip
problem.
hop, Common might have a top 10 catalog. I mean, if we
Yeah.
keep it in a buck.
If I really wanted to push the issue with common sense, I could take his catalog and explain why it's very difficult to beat song for song. Because dude is nice. Now you may not agree with how he delivers it or always his messages, but just musically, dude is very on point. And Black Thought as well. Like even if you don't like, you may not like the tipping point. You may not like phrenology. You may not like even how I got over. You may not like that, but musically, Black Thought is very on point.
No
So
doubt.
I would even argue, to be honest with you. I mean, if we had to do a versus, I would give me Black Thought. I think I could beat Common. I think I could pick the songs to beat
Shit,
Common in the versus.
we need to do that on the Uncut channel. We
Yeah,
can do that.
I think Common can get them. Like I said, because the Roots got enough collectively to where they can definitely go song for song. They got 20 that can match up with Common.
Let's do that.
And
Let's do that.
yeah,
Let's do
I
that. I
think
got you.
that's
Let's do that.
interesting. That's
Let's do that.
interesting.
Let's do that. My mere thoughts
For
with the
sure.
super chat says Black Thought's weakness is his versatility and ability to connect to a wide audience, like other lyricists such as Nas and Common. Okay. The Raisin Head with a super chat. Shout out to the Raisin Head for showing us love tonight. Black Thought is the KC of Jodeci of rap. Okay.
What that mean?
Okay.
What that mean? Like, is that
Is
a
that
knock?
good?
What is
I don't
that?
know if that's good or bad. I
Yeah, I
like
don't know.
Casey. I like Casey.
I think he means good.
KC.
Like soulful. You're saying like soulful? I think that's what you're saying.
Hey, I like Casey. I like Casey and JoJo stuff. It wasn't hitting like Jodeci, but it was all right. It was a little bit popish, you know what I'm saying? But it was cool. You know what I mean? When they broke off into their own thing, it was cool. But yeah, Leroy,
Yeah, man.
that was dope, man. See, we as a podcast, A2HH, we can talk about other things. And we talked about Kendrick for about an hour. That was cool because that was in the algorithm. But we have the ability to talk about other things like No Limit and Cash Money, or like we can have a conversation with Ab Soul. We can have a conversation with Tariq Nasheed. We can have a
No doubt.
conversation with who else we have conversations with? Damn, damn who else we had
I
with
mean,
Blue,
I could give you
uh
all the popular
Lupe.
things.
We have conversations with people. So, people on other pods be
Hey,
saying why they don't understand how somebody in 2025 can talk about these things. Because Prodigy is important, is part of the fabric of hip hop. Black Thought, the Roots are a part of the fabric of hip hop. Cash Money, No Limit
Of
are
course.
the fabric of hip hop. So, we don't have to talk about Kendrick all the time. We can talk about other things, and we offer you to try it. I mean, it's good to
and
talk about other things.
I'm
You
sure that
wanna
they
do
tired of
whatever you
hearing.
want to do.
I'm sure that they tired of hearing everybody keep constantly breaking down the Super Bowl show, and there's not very much
Yeah,
music coming out right now. So yeah, we doing our job, putting people up on game, and while we was
Mm.
catching hate for talking about Cash Money and No Limit, the next day, Shannon Sharp was sitting down with Juvenile and Master
right.
P. So we was ahead of the curve on
They
something. So
they
give
didn't think
give
they
us our
didn't put
props.
homies didn't put two and two together to think. So
Yeah.
before you start hating, think a little bit. Take a
I
time.
mean,
Take some
I'm
time out
not.
to take a step back and be like, why would they be talking about Cash Money and No Limit? Well, maybe perhaps the Super Bowls in New Orleans, and maybe the conversation in hip hop is whether Wayne should be performing on that stage, and the importance of Louisiana and New Orleans hip hop artists to the culture. Maybe that was the reason. So if you do some
I mean,
homework,
if
and
yeah,
go ahead, Leroy.
if people just want to take the hottest thing of that day or that week, and you want to just focus on that, then focus on that. I choose to talk about that and then cover other things as well. But if covering that is where your focus is at that time, then have at it. Everybody has different things that they do. You know what I mean? I'm not mad either way. You know what I mean? Like so Shannon Sharp, he's gonna focus on the hottest thing. You know what I mean? And go there, or whoever. Joe Button, he's gonna focus on the hottest thing and go there. I'm not mad at that. That's cool. I just
I mean,
want to
one
talk.
one thing for sure for me, Leroy, what I'm saying, I know y'all spoke on this a little bit last week, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to dwell on it too much, but I'm not going to be into no internet podcast, corny beefs with none of the brothers that I've been supporting since for the last 3-4 years. I mean, I think it's corny. Like everybody, y'all recognize my name. Y'all know who I am in the chat. I've been on everybody's show, and I've been supporting everybody for years. So I'm not going to start, participating in no internet podcast hating. You know what I mean? But what I ain't gonna do is be hating on nobody. And you know what I mean? Like deliberate hate ain't necessary. You know what I mean? It's still all love, y'all. We gonna we gonna
And the
do what we
guy
gotta do and let's keep it moving.
and the guys see that Leroy is getting traction and Super's getting traction, Servan's getting traction. I'm the conductor, I'm the producer in the background. They see that, I'm getting a little, doing my thing, producing and whatever, and keeping things together. And Mike is doing his solo things and keeping the ship, running like that. And they get upset. And I heard,
But
I heard that there was some calls made that somebody that's throwing some shade want to come back, but I was like, nah. Mike was
even
like,
without
nah, it's
traction,
all
though.
good. It's all good.
Even without traction, if that wasn't the case, I'm talking about the things I like because I love this rap shit. Like, so I'm talking about it just regardless. Like, there are gonna be people. It's like what Kendrick did at the Super Bowl. Not to go back, but he has an issue with commercialism. Is what he has an issue with because Kendrick is saying, nah, I really love this. It's not only commercialism. So, but those that want to lean on commercialism, I'm not mad at that because everybody has a job to do. I'm gonna go into commercialism as well, but I'm not. That's not the only place I want to go. Is all
I
I'm
mean, we
saying.
can we can sit on these pods and give all these great Black Power moments to what Kendrick did and all that, but we gonna
Right.
start hating on each other on podcasts. I mean, I mean, I think
And
that's
don't believe
corny
and
as
don't
hell.
and don't believe when somebody jump on X or Twitter and start talking crazy, man. Just think of the source. We real G's around here. You know what I'm saying? We can say a
All
lot
right.
of things. We can say a lot of things that we just don't say, but we wish everybody well. There's enough success in this game for everybody to be positive. I hear the little jokes across the street. They call it across the street, right? Across the street, as they say. I hear the jokes, and that's cool. And I've hit people privately. They treat it like WWE and wrestling, and that's cool. But everybody do their thing. We gonna keep moving. We gonna be doing something totally different, and we don't even be in the mud with these people. We got another objective, and this is not high school. This is professionalism. This is podcast. It's talking about music and culture and art, and we're gonna keep it moving like that. But we got another topic to talk about. Enough of this lame shit. Let's talk. I kind of didn't want to touch on this, but Leroy, you wanted to touch on it because I don't know the intricacies of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
What?
The situation with my man Meech and Little Meech and
Oh,
50
I
with
mean,
Irv. You know,
yeah, that's light. That's light. I mean, I could touch on that and like because Gilly was saying something about Hove the other day, you know. But
yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
say like this.
I wanted to talk about that. Talk about the
Yeah.
50 and then just get into Gilly little real quick.
Okay, so with the 50 and BMF thing or whatever, right? They can go back and forth all day, and we could hype up the back and forthness, and we could, oh, this guy said that, or oh, you know, who's gonna do something, yada yada yada. But it's like I think we that's getting kind of played out, like because it what we're doing is we're telling the youth that go the street route and it's gonna help you. But that in itself is kind of it's just a lie to me at this point. You know what I mean? Like and I know that's not exactly what people are doing, but by hyping up a 50 or Big Meats thing or a Ross thing, or even just continuing to go down that road, it sends a message to the youth that okay, we're gonna go the street route. And at this stage in 2025, that is just not even really a real option. It could be on a, you know, I don't even want to say, but we need to pick different realms to go in now than to always just be stuck there. That's all. That's all
I think that at this point, who cares? I don't care if Mitch snitched on nobody. I didn't buy no dope from him. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like Mitch ain't got no album coming out. Like people all into shit that ain't got nothing to do with their business. I don't even care. Like I really don't care. I don't get like what's the big deal that Meech was snitching. Okay, so what? I mean, what 50 you knew this information before you put this show out or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I just think that all of this shit is a 50. How old is Meech? Like 55 or something, 60?
Gotta be.
And we talking about if he
It's
snitched
old.
or
It's
not.
old
Like, you know what
news.
I mean? Like
It's old
what,
news. Like
And so it's
you know.
it's old.
it's a sensationalism, the TMZ era of hip hop. We don't care about this shit. We care about music, beats and rhymes. But I think
Yeah.
we get so caught up. We spend so much energy. Like I said, I don't like speaking on the situations. I don't know. And I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Whatever their business is their business. However 50 feel about that situation, that's what 50 to feel about. He might feel a certain type of way because of the bit. I don't know the interworkings of their deal. I don't know nothing
Okay.
about nothing. All I know
Man,
is I was making some music, some movies, and that's it.
Everybody all in their business like they about to hit Meech up for a brick or something. Like y'all, like he's not selling you no dope anyway. Don't worry about if he's snitching or not. He don't got no album coming out. You know what I mean? Like it's not even that important. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, what 50 doing is we was just talking about all of these moves that 50 been doing and how lame it's been getting. I mean, it's immature for us to be sitting back talking about 60-year-old men snitching and who they snitched on and if they knew it was a snitch. And
There's a podcast game. There's a podcast culture, and I think that's what we talked about offline. There's a part of the podcast culture, and I don't want to call no names out because it's hard to put together a platform and it's hard to communicate to an audience and to gain an audience, to get one like, to get one follow. That's hard work, right? But there's a culture. There's like, should I say No Jumper? There's a lot of gossipy podcasts, right? I think the Breakfast Club might have started. They tell these old stories, and it's these old stories and all these old things that we don't care about, we don't know about, and it's just spit some new information, teach us something new, talk about some music. It's just corny.
And us as a podcast, this I think this bores us to even have to be talking about this type of like corny shit. You know what I mean? Like there's no music tied to this. There's nothing but rumor and gossip and just running your fucking mouth right now. Like this ain't got nothing to do with nothing that really got anything to do with anything except for 50 Cent.
Right.
That's the closest link to music that we have here is that 50 Cent. 50 ain't got no album that's about to come out. He ain't about to drop no diss track to Big Meech. So this is just this is news for nothing.
It's an old play, man. It's
news
old
for
news.
nothing.
It's old news.
Old
and
news.
It's like real quick with the Gilly thing too. I'm not mad at Gilly. I see the move, but it's like, if we're gonna paint Jay a certain way, that's cool. But the brunch and all that, it is advantageous. Now, I never been to a brunch, so I don't know. But the reason why artists get together is because in a lot of times in hip hop, we don't get together. Like we don't. We spend so much time away from each other and talking through computer screens and on the phone that we don't get together. So I do think, aside from just that one brunch, I do think that getting together physically and could be very helpful for the culture, not just for Jay to be doing it because he made it a branding thing. Well, Jay's trying to use my brand to get. I was like, okay, but just in general, I think we should have gatherings
That
of
ain't
whether
what
it
he
be.
was really saying, bro.
No, he
What's the
did say
quote? What's
that
the quote?
though.
What did Gilly say?
He
What's
said,
the
"Hey,
quote?
I mean,
I know
I
what
know
you're
what you're
trying to
talking
do.
about, but that's
You're
not
trying to use my
he
brand."
wasn't saying that
It's
Jay
like,
was trying to use him. He was just saying that,
okay,
you know, you go out there, you sitting out there, you
got it. You
Jay
smile
invites you
with
to
the
stand.
billionaires.
Jay invites you to stand on the lawn, and you basically he basically
Got
go in
it.
the back room somewhere where it's like the after party, or where only the billionaires, like he said, where only the billionaires can go, and he back there smiling and taking pictures with the
Got it.
billionaires. I mean, I don't have no problem with Gilly saying with how he personally
I mean,
feel about Jay, bro. Like it is what
people,
it is. Like
I
you
think
know,
I think people say things about Jay without doing their homework on Jay-Z to find out what type of business does he actually do, because he's been in hip hop for a long time. You could check Rockefeller, you could check Def Jam, you could check Rock Nation. If you think Jay is not really about his business, then you could check to see. You know what I mean? But in general, because people are going to say it's only about Jay, I think on the East, West, South, I think we should be getting together physically to discuss things, meet up with each other and plan things out and have an actual meeting face to face, shake hands or whatever, versus always doing a computer thing. And that's
I think
was just my main
I
point. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
another thing that that we not really, you know, that we not talking about when it come down to that interview that Gilly was saying, and maybe why he feel a certain way about Jay, is that he feel like Jay and Dame tried to play him with his deal. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
he's probably he's
Fair,
like, yeah,
fair.
man, you know, fuck them niggas.
That's
Like
fair.
I ain't gotta be around them dudes kicking it and kissing ass and like, you know what I mean? Like for
That's
me,
fair.
for he like for me just showing up here, it's making him look like he the shit. Cause I'm here on the lawn, chilling on the lawn and dressed in all white while he's somewhere
Hey,
in the back room smiling and taking
if
pictures.
he
You know what I'm saying?
feels
So
that
like
if he feels that he makes Jay
hold
look
on,
good,
Leroy. Let me
you
hear
know,
this. Just let me finish this. Let me finish what I'm saying. Like I know you a Jay. You want to put the cape on for Jay. It's not
okay,
necessary, bro. He
all right,
said what he had to say, and that's just how he feel about Jay. I don't think that he was hating on Jay, or it was like I don't even think it's a
no,
real
he's
shot. They
hating.
just, you know, Gilly a real dude. You asked him a question, he answered it the real way. I don't think it was like intentionally trying to hate on Jay. It is what it is.
I
Okay,
need to I
well,
need to check out the interview, man. I ain't check out the interview. I will say this: I got to check out the interview and get some analysis of it, make sure I understand what he was saying. But I do want to do this. I think we should do our own thing, man. We should have like a According to Hip Hop breakfast or some shit. Forget the damn brunch. We should
well,
do our own
I mean,
shit.
if y'all want to do that, if y'all
Let's do
want
the
to do
breakfast.
that, we
Everybody
could
in the
really do
chat
that.
right now is invited to the breakfast,
We
man.
could really
Y'all
do
hit
that.
like. We gonna hit like and subscribe. We'll invite y'all to the breakfast, the
I'm saying
HUHH breakfast.
before, whether you like Jay or Nas or whoever, Puff, we'll keep it Jay since people think I'm going to keep it there. Before you try to say what this person is about and or is or isn't doing, do something greater than he did. You know what I'm saying? And that's no knock, but put your own brunches together, put your own Rock Nations together, put
Hey,
your own Rockefeller together. Because
but
Gilly, respectfully, I respect what you've done, but to be acting like you the big dog in that conversation, it's like, bro, I just put together your own brunch and do your own thing instead of
But Leroy,
knocking what
are
somebody
you
else
only
is doing.
saying this because you saying something about Jay-Z, or like, I mean, what if he
I
would have
answered
said
that
this?
already.
I
I
mean,
answered
like, you
that.
know what I mean? Like, I don't see the problem with what he said. I don't look at it as hate. He just didn't kiss Jay-Z ass. I mean, he just felt
I
like,
don't
yeah,
think
you know
men.
what?
I don't think no man kisses any other man's ass.
I don't think it was a Pacific shot at Jay. I think Gilly just like, I don't really kick it and party and hang out with nobody like that. I don't think it was just like a Jay-Z thing. I think he was just saying like, no shit, I kick it with myself. I'm chilling
Okay,
with my
look.
own self. Shit, I'm not
Earn your
interested in
leisure.
going and being in all
Earn
white
your
at the
leisure.
Jay-Z party.
Earn Your Leisure has their own events where they go around. I go to them Earn Your Leisure events, but I don't kiss their ass. I go because I support the message. So it's one thing to say you're kissing ass. It's another thing to no, I actually just support the message. We don't do none of this um kissing ass thing that whatever he's talking about. But I get the play, but it's like we gotta stop
And
with
then
that mentality
when you get what he was saying
that
too,
we
Leroy,
bow
when he
down.
like, yeah, we go to these brunches, right?
Mm-mm.
We stand around on this lawn. Everybody get the jack in the line. Like, yeah, man, we need to hook up. We need to do this. We need to do that. Don't nobody do shit. Everybody just pretty much pocket watching and trying to be in everybody's
I
business.
get it.
I mean, I
I get
get
it.
what he was trying to say. I don't think it was like a direct shot at Jay-Z itself. I think it was just more or less him speaking on the way he moved. And
Okay,
you know
so
what I'm saying? Like,
just so people know, Jay-Z is not the only one that does business in hip hop. So when you target that and you're talking about gatherings and stuff like that, all the other people below Jay that have their own gatherings going on, you're affecting that too, even though you didn't say their name, because you're making the idea seem like it's an ass kissing concept when it's actually not. Not everybody's on Jay's level, and they're out doing the same dinners and brunches, but they're just not on that level. So before you take a shot at that target because you want to run up the views or whatever, just understand that there are other events going on with other people doing gatherings and other things happening on a smaller level. So that's it, man.
I
That's it.
think
But
that
I,
he was
I hear,
basically saying that he ain't fucking with none of it. Like he ain't going to the Rick Rubin white party. He ain't like
mhm.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it was a direct. I mean, he could have did Jay dirty. You know what I mean? Like he could have really did Jay dirty as far as how he feel. You know what I mean? He ain't go that deep. I mean, he feel like Jay done blackballed him and feel like they kind of detoured his career. He didn't go ham on Jay. So like to nitpick that he like, yeah, I don't want to go to Jay White party and stand around with a bunch of niggas and talk and jack and act like we gonna do a bunch of shit and then nothing happened from it. I'm just not interested. I'm chilling. I'd rather just chill with my family or stay here in Philly and
Yeah,
do what I
and see
do.
what he don't
There's
know.
no problem with that. I have no problem
What
with
he
that. I
don't
hear
know
no
is them
hate.
other people in power. They do that. Other people in power, they get together. They go to their own brunches. They do that. So
Yeah, but most
we knocking the formula.
but they have results
So
that's
he
genuine.
don't know that
I
other
think that
people in power do that.
he don't want to have a watch contest. He not going there to show off his latest
I
watch
heard
to
that.
Jay Z
Heard
and
that.
all them dudes and shit. Like
Heard
he's
that.
not interested
Heard
in
that.
going and showing off at the Billionaires Club. He's just not
So you
interested
trying
in
to
it.
send
Ain't no
shots
problem with that. There's
instead
nothing
of
wrong with
sending
that.
shots. Instead of sending shots, there should be some $1 million worth of game brunch that I could
How
go
was that
to
sending
and
shots?
see y'all vertically. Because
How was
if
that
you
sending
don't think
shots?
that's a shot, you
So
crazy.
I didn't see it, so I can't play
Well,
it
you gotta
because I
watch it.
can't.
Yeah, I don't think it was sending shots.
We'll get a. I can't play the clip because we'll get a strike. What was the what prompted Gilly to answer this question? Did Shannon ask him a specific question? Say,
He
hey,
gotta
you go to
He
the
he
asked
break.
him
gotta stay
something.
hot.
He asked him
He gotta
something.
stay
I
hot.
can't remember exactly.
If
Go
if you
ahead,
if
Leroy.
you mention if you mention Jay's name in some negative light, you're gonna be hot. So if you want to be hot, send a shot at Jay. You'll be hot.
He just I think I want to say Shannon asked him like
Jay'll make you famous.
why he don't go to the J parties or whatever and he just gave his reasons. He
So
said what he
Shannon
said.
set him up for a hot take. You probably knew Gilly was gonna
Yeah.
say some hot, hot
I
shit.
mean, but I think Shannon set him up for the hot take because like the next question after that was pretty much about, Jay blackballing him basically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Gilly obviously feel a
The,
certain way about Jay, but
I mean, I
I
even
think
hear that.
if he wanted to hate on Jay, there's better ways he could have went about it. I mean, he said what he had to say. There's
I
if
even hear that though, man.
I
But
think Leroy
the
more offended
contract
about
argument,
what I think Leroy is more
come on,
offended about what he said about Jay than Jay is actually offended about what Gilly said about Jay.
they're not offended. But the contract argument, he gave me a contract I didn't like. That's gonna be what you standing on. Like, I know other people not catching that, but you and I both know, Gilly, that a bunch of these contracts was asking for your publishing. It wasn't just one contract. So they don't know that, but I know that. So it's like I hear you, and that's the target that'll make you famous. So go at that. But just in general, like I'm saying, I think that we should be having get-togethers. If it's not that, you ain't got to go to that one. But I think that we should be having physical because this business is going to collapse if it hasn't already. If people are not reading the tea leaves, the industry is collapsing along with the country if you haven't been reading the tea leaves. So we are going to have to physically get together. And if some people want to compare watches, they the clowns. But there are some people that's going to do real business too. And that's
No
all.
doubt.
That's
No
all.
doubt. Let me get to the super chat. The Raisin Head with the super chat says, "Thought is KC, meaning he can out rap anybody." Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, "The Light, I used to love her. The 6 cents, can I borrow $1? The 1999." And this is before
Classic.
we even get to B or Finding Forever. His Ye songs aren't even in his top 5. Yeah, super. You're gonna have a long day, man, when we do this battle, though. You're gonna have a long day, bro.
But look though,
Long day,
people
bro.
compare Black Thought to Common, or you'll pick Talib Kweli. But what I'm saying is you're picking people that are similar to him. I'm saying overall to any rapper, period, Black Thought would be a problem.
I want to
So
do
I'm
Common versus Kendrick. That's what
saying
I want to do.
everybody.
I want to do
You know what I
Common
mean?
versus Kendrick. That's what I want to do. Common versus Kendrick. That's what I want to do. I want to do that catalog. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. I'm hearing homie the GOAT, so I just want to see what's good. That's all. I just
Y'all
want
want
to.
to y'all want to have a GOAT conversation with Kendrick Lamar?
Hey, we gotta get. We gonna have to touch base on that pretty soon for real. Because like I said, with all this gassing, we're gonna have to put him. We're gonna have to put him through the Mortal Kombat
Let's just see.
level test, man. He gonna have to fight. He gonna have to fight and earn that spot. We're gonna have to really dissect that catalog the proper way, man.
Let's see.
I'm down. I'm down to have that argument as long as after I have the argument, you tell me what base I didn't cover. What did Kendrick not do? Or how more famous does he have to be in order for you to classify?
I'm talking about the songs. I ain't talking
about music. Strictly music.
Right,
music.
Give me a bar. Give me a standard to reach.
You see what I'm saying, Ron? This is what I was talking about. You see how they got to go so deep to try to make what he do so great? It's like, dude, we just talking about music and songs, man.
Give me any metric.
We're going to talk about the catalog.
Music and songs.
Just the songs.
Okay, so songs. Now, if I'm mentioning songs, does everybody know Kendrick's songs? So if I mention them,
I think we all. This is the hip hop community, bro. I don't think nobody just not listening to Kendrick just to not be listening to Kendrick, man. I think we know.
So if I start off with "Ignorance is Bliss," we gotta know that song. You know what I'm saying? We can't just because you commenting, but if you don't use it,
how about you play it? And if I
you
don't know it, I can
hear.
How about you play it? And if I don't know it, I hear it, and then I can make my decision based on
you
what I hear.
You gotta know it. If you're commenting and you don't,
but what if I just hear it? What if I don't know it and I just hear it, and I can make my judgment once I hear it?
None of that matters. If you play it and then the next song I play is better, that's all that matters. That's it. Like, we don't need the explanation on why the song is great and why it's groundbreaking.
We're making 1 second decision.
We're just gonna say that this song is better than the other one.
We can play the song for 3 minutes. We can play the whole entirety of the song.
But this is the difference. When I say ignorance is bliss, that should have immediately rang a bell with people that know what that song did in the culture. If you are just hearing that song for the first time, then you don't know what it did in 2011 or 2010 because you are just hearing it. If you heard it in 2010 and saw how when he dropped the song, it immediately gave him all kind of attention, then you would see the effect of ignorance is bliss, but you never saw that.
Well, we can do it. We can. You and Mike can do an episode of GOAT Talk, and we can play the music. We'll put the music. We'll put on the uncut channel, and
it's all good.
I talked to Mike. I talked to Mike earlier today. He wants to do a GOAT Talk. GOAT Talk 2, 3. But no, I ain't gonna tell you that.
We got it.
But he wants to do that. So he wants to do that.
I know.
So I'm not gonna reveal. I'm not going to reveal that right now, but you already know what I'm talking about, right?
I know, but it's the same as me making a Lupe Fiasco argument. It's the same as me making a Mickey Fax argument because I was tempted to go down Mickey Fax's catalog too because he has a series of albums coming out. But people actually have to know the catalog. I don't want to just be mentioning songs that people don't know.
No, we ain't going to mention them. We're going to play them. We're going to play them.
Don't know.
We're going to play them. We can't
just play them on YouTube like that.
We are. We're going to do it on our other channel.
We talking about here. People got to know them. You know, you got to know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he got albums where you can't damn near even play shit on. You damn near can't play nothing on To Pimp a Butterfly and beat nobody with. You're not going to be able to play nothing from. Well, you might have a song, maybe one song or two from
Damn.
From Mr. Morale, you know what I mean? But
if you already know that
you got about 4 records you can play from Damn.
If you already know that you really don't rock with Kendrick, then it's not a conversation.
It's not about rocking with him or not. It's just about is this catalog better than the next guy? That's it. It's not about not liking him or nothing.
Yeah,
But that's what I
it's
said
nothing
the other
it's nothing
day. A lot
personal.
of people,
It's just music,
I
nothing
mean,
you don't
personal.
play his music. Do you
do
play
I
his
gotta show
music
you my
on your
Kendrick Lamar CD too, just to let you know I'm a real fan? I gotta go get
No,
my
but
damn CD. I gotta
people
bring the
not
physical
playing.
copy and show it to you. Like I know Kendrick's music,
Example
bro. I
though, and
listen to
I
him.
hate to keep saying this because J. Cole is actually super talented. But it's like I'll use J. Cole for example. I don't play J. Cole's music for my own personal enjoyment. So I'm not supposed to be in a conversation about his greatness because I don't play his music for my enjoyment. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm in that conversation, what am I supposed to say? I'm just gonna say, well, I don't really like those albums. That's the only thing you're gonna get from me because I don't play his music for
We
myself.
got another topic, man. We don't gotta
Yeah,
go
yeah,
You
stay
know
yeah.
what
on
I'm
this. We
saying?
gonna
We
talk
gonna
about
get out of
Kendrick.
here in a second. We got a couple more super chats. Lord Chai with the super chat. Did you hear what Gip said? Lupe told him about why Jay Z made Death of Auto Tune. I did not hear that Gip. What interview y'all? Gip, y'all been hitting us in the
So
chat on our
tell us what
private
he
chat.
said.
What Gip interview y'all talking about?
He did
He
an
was
interview
on
with Beehive.
Beehive.
Yeah.
I need to check that
I'm
out.
I'm I'm kind of not rocking with Big Gip, and let me tell you why. Big Gip, like certain other people, they make a coastal argument. Like they say, well, these people they don't like the South, so and that's where you root your argument in us not liking the South. That's an assumption that we don't like the South. Now, because and the reason why Big Get respectfully, you keep couching a lot of your arguments and we're not liking the South. That's an assumption, brother. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you're not, we don't all have negative feelings toward the South. You may think we do, but that's just you saying that all the time. You know what
No,
I mean?
you know what, bro? Like I said, I'm not from the South. But I gotta
Right.
be honest with you, and I think we all can be honest. You know, I think you even from being from the West Coast, bro. I think that there is always some East Coast bias when it comes down to rap that we all naturally have. Like I got East Coast bias. Most of my favorite rappers are East Coast,
Mhm.
and we get to the point to where we do we don't respect a lot of other people's music. I mean, it's part of the reason why somebody would say, "Why are y'all talking about No Limit and Cash Money in 2025?" It's because it's like their music is not to be respected that way. You know what I mean? They not talking about they not
I got you.
conscious enough. They not spitting enough lyrical miracle rap style. So
I got you.
there's a tendency to downplay the South, which you know what I mean. I get it. You know, as a hip hop head, I get it. But if I was an artist from the South, I would be offended by it too. That you know y'all downplaying what we do down here to uplift what y'all got going on,
I got
and it
you.
does at some point. If I'm like I said, if I'm a big Gip and I'm an artist from the South, and I'm there at the Source Awards while Outkast is getting booed, and I'm in the audience seeing how New York feel about us and trying to treat us like we whack and the shit that we saying don't matter. I mean, there is some resentment that you can naturally see a guy like Big Gip have and it feel, and the era that
Okay.
he came up in where the South was disrespected and looked upon as the South, and like they, you know, like their music was just junk
He's
music.
couching
You know what
it.
I'm saying? So
He's couching it as not only do we not like the South, that we have a nefarious negative attempt to undermine the South. So it's not just hate. It's
it's the
like,
truth.
and it's like I don't know if everybody in New York or the West is thinking of ways to
It's the truth,
undermine
bro.
Southern
We
artists.
do it. We do it. It's not even
You know
just a
what I'm
South
saying?
thing, bro. They do it to the
I
West
think
Coast too,
that may
Leroy.
be just you
They
thinking that.
we do it to
You
the
know?
West Coast too. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm being honest. Like I said, I
Yeah,
have
I
East
got what
Coast
you're saying.
bias.
Yeah,
I'm totally East Coast bias. I can admit it.
I got what
I'm
you're saying.
East Coast bias
Yeah,
in what and like what I like the quality of rap and the quality of lyricism
I'm
and
West
what
Coast.
I like about hip hop and rap music comes mostly from the East Coast. So I am naturally East Coast biased. But like I said,
Yeah,
at the same time,
it's the home.
I can see how other people from either from the South or from the West feel like their music is downplayed or not respected because either they not from New York or it's you know it's just some type of bias there because it's not like
And I'm sure there is. I come from the Bay Area. Like, if we want to talk
yeah.
about bias in the game, but the South also had a 20-year run of like dominance. So if that doesn't show you something, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
20
but that
years of
20-year
the
run still gets downplayed though, and that's kind of part
South,
of Big Gip's complaint and argument when he brings this up. You know, even when he brings up the Jay-Z, I know he brought this up. He didn't say this in his last interview, but where he was like, yeah, down here in the South, we weren't really rocking like with Jay-Z like that. You know what I mean? Like that's
Of course.
like that's not a hating
Only,
statement to make. You know what I mean? Like
but
that's not a hating
you're
statement to make
couching.
because
He is couching an opposition. He's saying this is the South, you guys are this, and we're at odds with each other. That's the couching of your arguments. And I'm saying it don't always have to be. Some people was not looking at you as an enemy in the South. I was never looking at the South as the enemy. You know, so it's like, but you're couching a certain argument in that regard, and I don't know if that's all the way true all the time, Gib, because you keep going to that. So you're implying that it's always that.
I just
Sometimes
think that
people just don't know.
every hip hop,
Like,
every
you know what I'm
true
saying?
hip hop fan, every real hip hop fan is East Coast
Yeah.
bias. That goes to like that's
It
what's
started there.
understood. What's
Yeah.
really understood don't need to be explained. I think we all are East Coast bias if we are true hip hop fans.
But
You know
it
what I mean? Like
started there. So we don't have a
yeah, it
choice.
started there, and
It started.
most of our if you've been listening to rap from any length of time, I mean, especially if you come from the '90s to to now, yeah, you definitely East Coast bias. I think we all suffer from it, and it's honest. It's not like
Well,
it's
I
not
started listening to hip
it,
hop
it
in the mid '80s when I was a baby. So my only option was New York. I couldn't go nowhere else. It's unless I would just stayed with Too Short. But it's like the real only option was New York because Def Jam was New York. So if I'm biased towards that, it's because I started there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like again, I don't know. Maybe we should have Big Gip on here, and I hear that. But the couching of your argument is that everybody has some hatred towards the South. I don't know if that's true.
Let's
You
get
know
him
what I
on.
mean?
We've had him on. Mike D interviewed him before. We can have him on again. We'll reach out and try to get his side of things. We get to the super chat. We're gonna finalize our last topic of the night. Mad Max with the super chat says, "LOL, I got 25 ASAP records that can beat Dot." Okay, we can put that to the test.
I don't
DJ
think so.
DJ Bruce Almighty, there's a Southern bias too today, a lot, and I'm from the South. They will tell you straight up, we don't bump New York shit here. Okay.
Okay, yeah, of
Last topic
course.
of the night, fellas. It's Valentine's Day. I gotta go out and get some, get whatever I gotta get for your ladies or whatever. We gotta, I gotta go get, whatever I gotta get, you know what I mean? To get the day right, you know what I mean? But Westside Gunn, this is a polarizing artist. I see people in the chat that love Westside Gunn. Super Duper even said the reason why folks like Westside because they like how you dress. And I'm like, Super, come on. I agree with like 80% of what Super says. But that take, I'm like, nah, I don't think dudes is like how the fly guy dress.
they got a man crush. They got a man crush on Westside Gunn, bro. Because it's not about lyrical ability. It's not about lyrical ability or nothing. They got a man crush on that dude.
I think he got a different kind of style, man. He got a different type of style. It ain't about the lyrics, it's about the aesthetic. He's a curator. You know what I'm saying? He's a curator of the music. But go ahead,
bro.
I
Leroy.
think
Like
Westside is dope.
Hey,
Me
no
personally.
disrespect to Westside, bro, but that new song sound like noise, and I can't even front, bro. That shit sound like noise, man. Like I don't know how y'all can justify and act like that shit so fly, and I don't know how y'all gonna do it, but
So let me tell you,
like
right?
noise,
Let me tell you, right? And I'm gonna use Kanye West, and I know I'm not trying to equate because that's what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. But Kanye has a certain sound that people liked, the sound itself and the style. So when it comes to Westside Gunn, he has a particular sound and style lyrically. And that sound and style is reminiscent of a certain era and a certain like undergroundish New York mid 90s sound. So when we hear that sound, we like that sound. Now, if and yes, not everybody would be into that because that everything is not for everybody. I got some albums. I remember playing Ghostface Killer for I remember playing Ghostface Killer for somebody that never heard of Ghostface Killer. So, you know, we sitting there and I'm putting on Supreme Clientele, and she is like, I don't know what this is, but I do not want to hear it no more. She's not catching she's not catching it because she can't, it's not for her. You see what I'm saying? So Westside is something that not everybody is gonna catch.
Bro,
It, it,
I
it,
like
it's
Westside,
actually
man.
gonna
I
piss you
like him
off.
to a certain
It's
extent,
actually
but
gonna piss you off. Like when I played Ghostface and she was getting mad, like, bro, like I can't take it. So it's like that's just how it's gonna be sometimes. And
you
go
know,
and West Side is there. You know what I mean?
this is another thing, bro. Like I know, you know, music is subjective, and everybody gonna have their different opinions about shit, about whatever. But I was thinking about this just earlier today, and this relates to what I'm really gonna say about Westside Gunn. But I'm gonna bring up something else at the same time to relate this to Westside Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
Some artists we give a pass to for certain things, right? Like we talk about. I'm just gonna go to Wayne. We'll talk about Wayne, right? And we'll be like, well, what's his best, hottest songs and all that, and blah blah blah. And then like niggas will get to saying like Lollipop and a Millie and like, you know,
Let me sneak
all of
this
these
in.
songs like that. But if we was talking about Nas, right? And we these people that love substance and shit, we'll knock Nas for a Black Girl Lost. We'll knock
Yeah,
Nas for a Black Zombie. We'll knock Nas. We'll say that the album ain't. We'll say that Reasonable Doubt, or not Reasonable Doubt, but we'll say that Volume 1 is not a classic because it got Sunshine on it. But we'll say that the Carter 3 is a classic, and we giving him credit for Lollipop, and we giving him credit for all these cheesy ass songs that we'll give him credit for, but we'll knock Nas and Jay-Z for Sunshine, and we'll knock them for Black Girl Lost, and we'll knock
I got
them for Black Zombie. And this goes directly into what I'm gonna say about Westside Gunn. He get a pass for being whack and like rapping over a lot of noise.
whack.
And whack, literally whack. I'm not even gonna hold back, bro. This ain't. We gotta quit being nice about
I
this
thought
shit,
you
man.
just said you like West Side a minute
I
ago.
like a handful of songs, like literally a handful of songs. Like it's gotta
Right.
then be somebody else on it. I just can't get with what he do, bro. I just can't, and it's
So
like
so let me
it's
let
not
me
even
couch
like
it.
I can't even listen to it properly, like really.
Let
You
me
know what I mean?
couch it
To
a
me,
little bit, right? Let
I
me
don't
couch
get
it a
it,
little
bro. I
bit.
don't get it.
And
But we give a lot
maybe
of
I
people
use
passes, and we'll
it's
knock
not a pass.
somebody.
It's not a pass. I used Ghostface for a certain aesthetic and sound. Now I'm gonna switch it to Ray, right? Lyrically, there are some people that if I play Raekwon for them, they can't follow what he's saying because they don't understand the slang, they don't understand the perspective. So when I'm hearing Westside and he says, you know,
We gotta
like
stop doing this, bro.
I'm watching the 50 inch Zenith. I'm getting the reference. You see what I'm saying? Or
Bro,
he's but listen though, Super, because you're gonna make an argument that because I don't like him, he's whack. That's a failed argument.
no, I'm not even gonna say
That's a
that.
failed
I'm just saying,
argument.
but don't
You know what I'm
talk to me
saying?
like I don't get the shit he's saying. Like,
That's
bro,
a
I just don't
no,
like the
but
music.
you
It's not
do,
that it's going over my head
but
or it's too
outside
deep and
of
it's too
you,
complex. I just don't like
outside
the
of
music.
you.
I don't think that he rhyme well.
All
I
right,
don't
never
think that he
mind.
rhyme and rap good. That's really it. It's not about shit
All
going over my head or
right,
nothing. I just don't think the
all right.
brother rhyme and rap good, and I don't like a lot of his production. That's it.
Okay,
It's not that
so
I don't get it.
outside of just your personal opinion, okay? There are other people that when Westside is making all of these references to 90s rap, to hip hop fashion, to certain people in the art world, they've never heard of this. So they don't see no connections to his rhymes. They don't know how they make sense. They don't know why these beats, they're so hard. They don't understand why he's so violent. They just don't know. So outside of you, Supa, yeah, it sounds away, but to certain people, it's like again, I'm gonna go back to Raekwon. When Raekwon spits a verse, if he when he has that song 100 rounds, right?
Bro,
What does that
this is
even mean?
disrespectful. This is a disrespectful
But
example. Like, I can't believe that you're doing this.
Hold on. If you're telling me
Man,
the
you gotta compare
average
this
person,
guy to like Riff Raff or something like that. Like, compare this dude to
I don't
Raekwon is
know about
disrespectful, man. Compare him to Riff Raff
I don't know about that.
or like
I don't know
Come
about
on, Come on, Super. Don't be, we're not riff
man,
raff.
he Riff Raff for real. He not better than Riff Raff really for real. He ain't no much better than Riff Raff.
Westside had every legend in rap was saying Westside was the guy. When after Fly God dropped in 2016, and every legend in rap was saying, no, this is the guy. So they heard something. Because he didn't even know he was getting the cosigns. He didn't know himself until he started to really check his social media, really go out and do these shows. And he was like, I got less coming to my shows. I didn't know that I was doing this much. So they heard something. Now that their cosign doesn't have to mean everything, but I'm saying every legend in the game was saying this is the guy. So, and then he put out
listen,
a
like I said,
number of
man, hey,
albums.
y'all go
Whether
listen to that.
people like it or not, Fly God to me is an underground classic. Pray for Paris to me is an underground classic. Hitler Wears Hermes 7 is an underground classic. When he came out, the music was super soft to me. I'm hearing Drake every day. I'm hearing all this R&B, and then I hear this dude come through, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, okay, we get back to some gangster shit, or get back to some. Now I know I just talked about gangster in a certain light, but what I mean is the sound, like the sound that he gives off is reminiscent of a mid-era of the 90s or some of a boom bap era that we remember. That's all. If you rock with that sound, it's the sound. The reason why I'm comparing him to Raekwon is because Raekwon makes a lot of references. If you don't know the reference to the shoes or the movie or the kung fu flick, or you don't know his reference, you don't get the rhyme.
Like Super
I'm
Kick
just
Party,
saying, bro,
Super Kick Party, George
community, bro.
Bondo, Vogue cover. I mean, he got some records, Superman.
Man, this all I'm saying is this, man. As a hip hop community, bro, we get like, we'll shit on 21 Savage. 21 Savage is smoking Westside Gunn, man. Like, he's smoking Westside Gunn. It's not like he's smoking them. He blowing them out the fucking water. He makes better songs. He raps better. He's better than him. And we shit on 21 Savage. But we praise Westside Gunn
I'm
like
not
he's
shitting on him.
he's some type of groundbreaking great artist. Like, I'm tired of the gassing, bro. We gotta quit all the extra gas that we put. It's all right to like him. But we talk about this dude. We keep anticipating these whack ass albums from Westside Gunn. This dude been disappointing since Pray for Paris. Basically, he's been disappointing since then.
10 was
and
a
we
dope album.
still sitting back waiting. Like, yeah, we gonna wait for this new Westside. I'm off the wagon, bro. Until I see something from
any
afar,
of us did the same
I'm off
things,
the wagon. I'm done with it. I'm not even gonna try
any
no
of
more.
If any of us did the same things Westside Gunn did, I promise you we would get gassed. If we put a Benny the Butcher in the game, a Conway in the game, a Derringer in the game, a 20 albums catalog in the game, a whole bunch of merch and t-shirts and sweaters and logos and fashion rebel shit that took over that merch part of the game, we would get super gassed out. People would definitely be gassing us. So Westside did some work that backs up the gas. You know, it's not like he just.
I think anybody in this chat that's really saying that Westside Gunn is better than 21 Savage is y'all forcing it. Like I said, that's that man.
Never thought of that comparison.
There's no way that you really think that 21 Savage that Westside is better than 21 Savage. I don't believe you, and I don't care if you're saying it or not.
So
I don't believe you. I'm not even accepting.
Who's the dope rapper
I don't believe
in New York?
I don't believe.
Who's the dope rapper in New York that I should be comparing Westside Gunn to?
Westside ain't really in New York. He ain't from Buffalo.
Well, pick it. I never really. I can't really associate 21 with Westside because I think they're too different. Is there anybody that's kind of close to Westside sound that we can compare to? And who is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, who?
I mean, it ain't nobody as whack as him really rapping. Like, to be honest with you, I can't think of nobody really whacker than Westside Gunn that get away with the shit that he get to get away with. He get to get away with just like boom. Listen, the ad lib is cool. I'm not mad at the ad lib, and you know what I mean. I'm just saying, like, song wise, this dude don't put together the complete songs. He just be saying shit. It's not, and half the shit either don't rhyme. It's not. I don't get it. And like I said, we play this game. We play favoritism with people. We play too much favoritism with this rap shit, and we make other people geniuses.
Now,
this dude has. I can't think of nobody with weaker rapping ability than Westside Gunn in the game. I really can't.
But
like,
I think you're looking at him to deliver.
We gassing this dude. We be gassing, bro.
He's not Black
We be
Thought.
gassing.
He's not Black Thought. But he's not. But what I'm saying is, you like artists you like because of style. No matter how you swing it, it's a style that you like. So the reason why people like Westside Gunn is style. I'm not talking about the clothes he's wearing. I'm talking about the way he's delivering musically. That style is what people like. Now, someone mentioned, even when you mentioned Prodigy, Prodigy has a certain style that appeals to you. Somebody mentioned Action Bronson. If you I don't got a problem with Action Bronson. I actually like Action Bronson. Now, when I'm playing Action Bronson and he's talking about, he's always has a line about, I'm doing a cartwheel into a Lamborghini with a midget in the passenger seat. Like, he's always making these weird, like, why would you do a cartwheel into a Lamborghini? That makes no sense at all. But what he's doing is he's calling back to a comedic era and exploitation films. I like that. So if I played that for somebody else and he's talking about throwing midgets out the window and stuff, they're not, that makes no sense to them.
Hey, but you know what the difference is when it comes down to Action Bronson? You know what the difference is? We not sitting back, got a banner with his name under the bottom every time he drops some shit. Sometimes we can ignore this dude's shit until it's actually fire. Like,
we can also say we like it. We can also like it.
I think that y'all lying. I think that y'all actually really lying. I don't believe nobody that said they like this shit.
I like Westside Gunn. I'm not fronting. When his new album, I'm playing it. I'm not fronting. I like Westside.
I'm being a little hard because, like I said, Westside do got some tracks from that I do like. But I'm just saying for the most part, bro, dude is not like, I don't get the appeal, and I don't know why we even highlight his work like that until he actually do something else, bro. This dude ain't. It's just not like that, man. I can't front.
If you want some real New York rap shit, and you can't hear why someone like me is really anticipating, or I really like Westside Gunn's music, and you want some New York shit, you should be able to hear why. If you like Won't Roam Streets, if you like Ransom, if you like, it's a sound that these people come with. Now, is Westside a lyrical miracle? I think he's actually super dope lyrically. But if people don't think that, that's fine. What I'm hearing, though, is how he's scheming references. That's what I'm hearing.
Man,
and that
does
take skill to do. It does.
Leroy, a couple weeks ago, man, I heard you lightly and politely kick Bodie James' backhand a little bit.
What you mean?
I mean, just we judged them a little bit for dropping too soon, but we can't act like everything that Bodie James did is better than everything damn near that Westside Gunn that came out in the last couple of years. For real.
Let me get to these super chats real quick so we can get out of here and close the show. Matt Max in super chat says Westside Gunn is whack. He's a mumble rapper from Canada. All right, Matt Max in super chat says if Westside Gunn wasn't from New York and was from ATL, he'd be not hip hop.
I swear.
Mad Max super chat said Westside Gunn is whack. There's a whack Max B from 20 years ago.
Max B is killing that dude though.
Like that. Sometimes sometimes you gotta respect somebody else's opinion. Again, when J. Cole was the hottest thing out here, I thought he was cool. Other people was telling me I'm tripping. I went back and did the knowledge. When Kendrick was out here and everyone said, I'm talking about the early 2010s, they was like, Kendrick is the guy. I said, he's cool. I went back and did the knowledge. Now, my own personal opinion, I can't say because I think certain people are whack that they whack. I could have my personal opinion, but I can't just say they whack. You know, if they're having huge impact with a huge amount of people, they got to be doing something right, because there's some people that I think are super dope that I know people would tell me they whack just because their style is so foreign. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
that, I
Their
mean,
style
that's
is
one
so
thing, bro.
foreign.
Like, it's one thing about me. If that shit whack to me, I'm not gonna try to find a bunch of reasons to like it, unless it's just, you know,
Okay.
unless it grow on me naturally. I'm not gonna try to get into this deeper state of trying to figure out why something is popping or why something is hot. But you know, I just think that we gotta be more fair, bro. We give a lot of people passes, and then we hard as hell on some people for some things. Like, and this is one of them times. Like I said, Westside Gunn get a lot of passes that we just ain't giving to nobody else. And it's
Yo,
time to start calling a lot of these dudes out, man. We got to. We got to.
good points, Leroy. Good points, Super. Well, let's get to the last super chat of the night. Let's close the show from the L Web 100. I'm looking at Westside as a Master P Birdman type figure. I don't judge him as a real lyricist. All right, all right.
All right. I mean, again, you know, it all depends on you, right? If you watch old mafia movies, and I'm just talking about movies now, you hear the Italian guys talking with a certain lingo, so you know they're only talking to a certain group of people. If either you understand that lingo or you don't. Westside, he's talking to a specific group that understands art, that understands fashion. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying when a Kanye West hears Westside talk about fashion, Kanye West is probably going to get very excited, only because Kanye has an affinity for fashion and art. So that's all. You just have to have an affinity for certain things, and then you'll hear it. You know what I mean?
I
That's
mean, you
all.
know, I love us, man, as a hip hop community. You know, it's all opinions, but bro, we just, like I said, sometimes we just go far, man. We'll kick J. Cole back in for, you know, might delete
My
later,
bad.
but
My
we'll
bad.
we'll be we'll, you know we'll big
Uh-huh.
up this next Westside Gunn album like it's even like something that you can even equate to each other. And I just think that sometimes we pick and choose who we like and who we
I
want to
hear you.
No
who we
doubt,
want to be dope for
Yeah.
whatever reasons. We'll
Champion
pick and
or
choose it.
no doubt,
We'll
no doubt,
find any
no,
reason to like somebody.
no doubt, no doubt.
Mhm.
Well said, Leroy. Well said, Super. We're gonna close this out tonight. We have hit like and subscribe. I know, you know, the lamest thing in the world that a man can do that's over the age of 30 is to create a burner account to go into another podcast, another brother's podcast to troll. We got 10 uh thumbs downs today because they created. I've got information. I got people watching. B. He's
Have a
creating
thumbs
burner.
down.
He's got burner accounts to come in here and just try to mess up our algorithm and put thumbs down. That's so lame. If you're over 30, man, work on your art instead of studying us. What Ghostface say? Study your arts instead of studying me,
Study your
B.
arts instead of studying me.
To do your thing.
Yes.
That's so corny, B. Come on, man. Don't do. I know you want to come back, but Leroy got you. You know, is in that spot. Super's in that spot. Servan's in that spot, and I'm still gonna be here. Mike gonna still hold down the fort and man the ship.
Shout out to Ron
And
Vay.
Ron Vay as well. So we
The
gonna
whole
be in. We got
squad.
other people coming in on the platform. So it's corny, B. Y'all tighten up your game over there. I know y'all on right now, probably cracking jokes, but anyway,
Why don't y'all
hit
just
like and
love hip hop? Don't
hit
y'all love hip hop? Why don't you
hit
do
like and
that?
subscribe. We will be back on the weekend rhyme. Enjoy your significant others for Valentine's Day. Make sure you love your children. Super last thoughts, Leroy. Last thoughts.
My last thoughts, bro, is just, you know, everybody try to find some way to entertain yourselves. I'm looking forward to tomorrow for whatever little scraps of music that we get out. I know we ain't talk about the Drake, and rightfully so. I'm glad we didn't, because I'm not looking forward to even listening to it. I probably won't, to be honest with you. I'm probably gonna just sit this one out. In general, I'm not a Party Next Door fan either. So,
I'm gonna
but yeah,
listen.
you know, we got to keep that same energy, man. All this bill that we want to shoot to Kendrick, we got to offer that same bill to the next artist if that's what we're doing as a community. If we gonna
They're
love
not gonna
Westside,
do that.
if we gonna love Westside Gunn, we gotta love Jim Jones and Joel
They're not gonna
Santana
do that.
and everybody else too, and give them the same type of treatment that we gonna give a Westside Gunn for his weaknesses and give him that same type of deep understanding that we give to those guys. I mean, we just got to be more consistent as a
You
fan
really.
base and
It's really
accept
not cool to get props no
what other
more.
people said, man. Accept what everybody else got to say about
You
whatever. It's not one way to think about um, this or
You
that.
can't
You know what
really.
I'm saying? So,
I don't think you could give people props no more because I think giving props is not cool no more. Like if you say something positive, people say, "Oh, you glazing." So you can't even give props. It either sucks or it sucks. It's no like, "Oh, that shit was actually dope." Like you can't say that no more, and that's
or
just
you
too
can't,
bad.
or you can't say that it was cool because
You
if you
can't
just
say
say
it's
it was
dope.
cool, if somebody just be like it was all right,
Okay?
it was cool, then people gonna
But you
call you a
definitely
hater.
can't say it's dope because that's glazing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't give no props. You have to either say you might be able to get away with it's cool, or but you definitely can only really say it's whack. If you say, nah, this person is going above and beyond the execution and it's super dope, people gonna say, oh man, you know, you glaze like,
It
okay,
just
like
depends
all
on who
right.
you're talking about. Like I said, I mean, when we talked about the Larry June and Currency, not the Larry June and Alchemist and 2 Chainz, I mean, we was like, yeah, it was cool. It was all right.
Damn.
Nobody had to, nobody had
Final
to.
thoughts, fellas. Damn, I ain't got no more
That's it.
graphics.
That's
I ain't
it.
got no.
That's
I ain't
it,
got no
Final
bro.
more
thoughts.
That's it.
graphics
Final
to put
thoughts.
up,
That's it.
man. Damn, y'all having a whole other podcast. Go ahead, Leroy. What's the final
For real,
thought,
for
man?
real, for real. Final thought though. If you don't understand something, and I'm not saying I don't know if you do or don't, and nobody, I'm not calling nobody stupid. But when I was young, I used to look for the music I didn't understand. That's the music I sought out because I'm trying to figure out what they're saying. So I'm saying if you don't understand something, try to figure it out. That's it. And I'm not saying everybody does it. I know a lot of people got what Kendrick was doing, but I'm just saying if it's getting hell of attention, try to figure out why is he getting this so much attention. That's all. And it don't have, maybe it does have something to do with set design, dancing, or how he did the show. Look into that because I think we should up our game performance wise. But
No
that's all,
doubt.
man.
No doubt. Hit
And,
like and
and,
subscribe.
and let me say this too before we head out. Just before this is the last thing, real quick. The comments made about Westside Gunn are solely my opinion. Don't throw this on the court in hip hop.
I know.
I'm the one that said Westside Gunn is whack. So put that shit on
You
me.
now we
good.
can't. And now we can't get it. Now we can't get an interview. Damn, you done fucked it up,
Hey,
Super.
it's all
It's
good,
all
man.
good,
Send
man.
all the smoke to me. Send all the smoke to me, man. No
But make
disrespect.
sure you hit like and subscribe. Check us out this weekend. We'll be touching in on Drake, in the Party Next Door album, some other stuff, some other topics.
Yes,
We'll look into the Shannon Sharp and Gilly interview. We'll do all that, man. But hit like and subscribe. We're gonna have the A2HH brunch in Atlanta. That's what the poll said. We're gonna have it in Atlanta. The breakfast. I'm sorry, not the brunch, but the breakfast. We'll send out information for that. And I appreciate you, Supers. Appreciate you, Leroy. Shout out to Mike, Ronve, Servan. We'll see you on Saturday. Peace.
Salute,
sir.
salute.